Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I am the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Hola.
How are you?
I am well.
You're well?
I'm well. I'm tired, but I'm well.
Oh, you're a little bitch.
I'm always tired.
You're always tired, and I'm the eldest person here. I'm supposed to be one who's tired all the time. I'm pretty old.
Okay.
I'm
But
like
I'm definitely I'm good. I'm well. I'm all right.
You're doing good though?
Things are
You had a nice little surprise at work this week though.
Yes, my the people I work with
This is good.
Were very kind this week and just showed some appreciation and some thoughtfulness for me, and know I've been going through a rough time with the basement and stuff like that, and gave me a card yesterday with a lot of people that were able to sign it, and it was very, very touching, and I really appreciate those folks having this job that I've had for 6 months this week, I believe it is. Yeah, 6 months this week that I've been working there. Actually to the day or yesterday, and it's just they're great people. It's nice to have a different environment like that, and even though I want it to reflect what Workaholics is in like a office setting,
Yeah.
It's not, unfortunately, but it's a lot of good people that I care about, that care about me, and it's just very, very humbled for how kind they are, and can't tell them enough how much I appreciate them. So
It was really heartwarming stuff.
Yep.
He was deeply moved. It was really nice.
I know. Right, because I now at this point, like Tone used to go to bed at midnight, 1 or 2. Now I'm like, fuck, it's 9:30. I go to bed in like a half hour.
It's like my grandpa. No,
yeah.
Honestly, it's so bad, you guys.
Yeah.
He usually drinks 3 beers during a show. He has 3 beers, but usually the third one gets moved over here. So I have to pick up the drinking slack for this guy.
Right.
Not only is he in bed early, he doesn't play games with people anymore because he's antisocial and mean and he's cooler than everybody. He won't even drink with me. Once he gets 2 beers down, I'm on my own and have to drink by myself.
To be fair, I make up for it on Fridays and Saturdays usually really well.
He really does. He gets fucking lit on the weekends.
This last weekend during the state game,
Ooh,
had my nachos. My nachos were there by about 12:20, 12:30.
Where'd you order those from?
El Rio Grande over on North Michigan, right before you get on the overpass.
Yep.
Never had food from there. Always kind of curious
They
about
got
it.
good tacos.
Yeah, that's what I've heard now.
Yeah.
Their nachos are really good, and they were jalapenos, man. You have to have jalapenos.
Gotta
in
have
nachos.
jalapenos
You really
in
do.
nachos, man.
But yeah, I was hammered by 2 o'clock. I started drinking at 11.
He gets completely shit. Like he sends messages throughout the day, and towards around halftime of any game, I don't understand what I'm reading anymore. It's like it's almost like Charlie Brown's teacher is texting to me. And it's like, womp. I'm like, I don't know what any of this is. I have no idea what he's talking about.
I'm just saying, you have to set goals in life. When I knew that I was getting a 9 to 5, 8 to 5, or whatever, and going forward, one of the first things I said this last spring and summer was like, oh, shit, I have Saturdays off, but now I can watch college football and MSU ball. So.
El Blanco says, I make up for it on Fridays and Saturdays. A hoe knows the call of another. Accurate as fuck, El Blanco.
AF.
Accurate as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's having a good week. We're really hitting that fall weather this week. We had 80s on one day and then 50s on the next, and now today was actually, in my opinion, one of the nicest fall days we've had.
I couldn't believe how warm it was when I got to work.
It was 70 degrees, but it was a nice breeze. The leaves were coming out. It was a very fall-esque day, one of the nicest ones we've had so far this fall. But no, and then the weather just keeps dropping and going up and down, and it's a complete disaster. Ooh, excuse me. Speaking of which, now that burping them up. What are we drinking tonight? We're drinking a classic.
We're drinking our mascot drink tonight. I literally walked in to the party store and looked at the case and said, I really want an oatmeal cream pie. So we got the old OCP from Pigeon Hill, a staple around here, and we actually haven't had it in a minute, or I haven't had it in like a month or two, and it's really good, as always.
There is nothing better in this world than a cream pie. I love to just...
eat them.
I love to eat them and drink as much of them as I can. I mean, hold on.
Oh yeah, Yeah, there you
I like when it runs down my chin a little bit and gets
Right.
kind of messy.
Right.
It's that good, you guys. There's nothing tastier than a cream pie. It really hits the spot on a Wednesday night. But Tone, other than being humbled by your coworkers and getting loaded on the weekends,
drunk on Saturday days.
what else have you been? Have you been playing anything? Well, I mean, I know you've been playing one thing, and we're going to be talking about it a little bit later. Tricky actually beat it. I want to know, Tricky, how much of your beard is left? I know he doesn't have too much hair in his head, but how much beard is left after that playing that final rage-inducing boss? Because I know you were struggling with the final boss. I know that final boss is supposed to be very difficult. I have not beaten it yet. I'm probably about 90% through the game, hoping to have it done by this weekend. But we'll talk a little bit about MetroidDread in a moment. But have you been playing anything else or doing anything else?
No, just some MetroidDread when I had time. I, as always, have really felt like I haven't had the time I wanted for games because there's been a lot of good media coming out over the last few months, and I've been really addicted to certain TV shows or rewatches. That Sopranos binge really took me out of gaming because I'll be honest with you, going through that entire series in about a 2-month time, I'd say, or a month and a half, whatever it took, you start watching a show like that and you can't stop watching that show.
Right.
Especially, it's one of those shows when you rewatch and you really start to like re-fall in love with those characters again and remember things and really get this. It's a whole different dive. So I've not been doing a great job in my backlog or anything like that. There's not a lot coming out this fall that I'm really looking forward to, except for this one here that came out, MetroidDread. Been playing when I haven't played in a day or two, but yeah, I can't wait to talk about it.
Jay Hill asks, how long is that PS5 code I won good for? Well, it's good until I get drunk and punch the code in and use it for myself, Jay Hill. So between now and probably 2 hours from now.
Right.
I don't even know. Depends on how buzzed up I get. But yeah, if I happen to log in when I'm drunk and into our Facebook chat and I see that code, I'm going to use it myself. So
that's right, King.
Just download the PlayStation app, Josh, on your phone and put it that way.
But if you add it to your account, it'll always be there.
But I want to get NCAA too. But if you take the $50 and just put it into your PSN, it's just going to sit in your wallet. It's not going to go anywhere. It'll always be there.
That game is also not coming out for like 2 years.
Yeah,
probably.
Dude, it needs to get out here fast. You're going to be waiting like 3 years, dude. 2023 at the earliest. There's no way that's coming out next year.
Right.
It'll be 2023 at the earliest, dude. So you might as well pick something else up.
Yeah, play God of War. You want to see the end of it?
Yeah, God of War is a good game. I actually just finished Horizon Zero Dawn last week.
Actually, that's the other game I started playing because you inspired me to go back and pick it back up. I re-downloaded
60 frames.
Yeah, so there isn't a PS5 version of it. It's just 60 frames unlocked.
It just unlocks the frame rate.
It's really gorgeous on a PS5.
It's really pretty at 60 frames.
I said, you know what? I need to get ready for it, so I decided I'm gonna get to that before Tomb Raider, but I'm not playing them back to back. I learned that the hard way last time.
Yeah, that's always a mistake.
Yep.
Never a good idea.
Not those kind of games.
I will talk about Metroid in a moment. I did start Far Cry 6.
Oh, we hadn't talked. You did.
I did start Far Cry 6.
And?
I did. I hopped into it. It's more what you would expect from Far Cry, which I'm cool with.
That's right.
I like running around in that world and causing all sorts of destruction and chaos, but there are some changes to the game which are really interesting because normally when you would play a Far Cry game, one of the most important things of your character is the skill tree. There's always all sorts of skills that you can unlock, abilities you can unlock as you rank up, like different ways to take enemies down, where you can chain attacks, stuff like that. But in this one, there is no skill tree. But if you go out and grab all the gear, there's multiple sets of gear, and each piece of gear, whether it's pants, shirt, shoes, gloves, all have different perks tied to them.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of, like, I got this parkour set that, one piece, reduces the stamina regeneration, makes it happen faster. You can run faster when you're not armed. So there's like certain things that you can do, and then you can take these pieces and put different pieces together. One has like a flame retardant, so you don't catch on fire as easy, or you put it out fast enough.
He's talking about it, Jerry.
What happened?
She wants to know about your Far Cry.
Oh, how did you like so far? So far, I like it. It's actually really interesting. Obviously, Ubisoft when they make these games, the worlds are always like super expansive and exotic, so they look beautiful. They're fun to explore. But a lot of it is the same, but there is some changes to it that kind of gives it more of a fresh feel. But yeah, I mean, it's essentially more of the same of Far Cry, and I've always liked the Far Cry games, so I'm not too much against it. Again, it's interesting that you don't have a skill tree this time around. Instead, the gear that you collect, that you find hidden across the area, whether it's stuff for your faction or the enemy faction, all of those things have perks tied to it. So it's really kind of a different approach. And the only thing that's kind of weird about it is you have to find a workbench in order to. Well, actually, no. Correction. A lot of your weapons, you can change the ammo type, you can change the attachments on it, but only at a workbench. So if you're going up to this this outpost of enemies, and you're like, shit, there's a lot of flamethrower guys, there's a lot of fire traps and stuff like that. Or when you analyze the enemies, it'll tell you their soft their weakness is soft armor bullets. Or some of them are weak to shield breaking or armor piercing bullets. Or this character is weak to fire, so you have flame rounds. So you have to analyze the situation, then go to the workbench, tweak your gun around, change your armor or your gear around to like match the setting or the situation. So it's a little kind of goofy in that regard. It's a little bit different there. It's almost kind of like some RPG elements, like even more so. Like you're really trying to build your character to match the situation, which can be a little weird. You're like, I just want to run in and blow shit up. I just want to go in and be stealthy. So you got to mix stuff up. You got to have certain ammo types for certain enemies, which is something different that you're not used to in a Far Cry game. So it's a unique twist. It's different. I haven't played through the whole thing, so I can't tell you if after a while if it just gets fucking annoying or if it even really matters towards the end of the game as your character continues to find better gear. I have no idea. But early on, it's more of the same. It's more Far Cry, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Far Cry is an established series. It has it's a huge fan base. People just want to jump in and play Far Cry, and they want the Far Cry that they know. And Ubisoft has enough tweaks in there where you're like, this is new. Oh, this is new. This is new.
Right.
So it's more of the same with some neat twists. Some kind of like, I don't know how this is going to play out in the long haul. Hopefully it's good, but it looks good. It looks really good, 60 frames, and it looks really beautiful. So, yes, it's very grindy. The map is fucking massive. There is a ton of shit to do in this game. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do. I'm sitting there just, as I always do in these open world games, like, okay, I'm going to focus on the story and just get the story done. No.
You never do.
I start wandering off and doing side quests and doing challenges, and you're just like, fuck, I'm never going to beat this game. But it's fun. It feels good to play. The shooting is good. You get a wingsuit early on, which is pretty fun. You can get around the level really fast in a wingsuit in certain situations. So the storyline is really interesting. It hasn't really opened up a whole lot yet. I do like Giancarlo Esposito as the antagonist. He's really good early on. But again, I haven't gotten really deep into the story to really know because, like I said, I keep getting sidetracked with side quests and all the other shit. But early on, I really like his character. He's a prick. But we'll see what happens further on. But overall, it's a fun game. I like sitting down with it and just running around, like Cuddle said, grind out my character, go around, collect, find all the hidden gear, find the best sets of armor and gear that I need that are going to suit my play style. It's got a lot of strengths. It's a cool game. I dig it. I haven't touched any of the co-op stuff. My understanding is you can play the whole game cooperatively. There's some co-op missions, specific co-op missions that have good gear tied to it. I haven't touched those yet, so there's a lot to do in this game. So it's going to take a while. Far Cry is just a game you don't beat over the course of a weekend. You're going to grind that shit out. It's essentially an open world RPG. So really digging it. It's fun.
Everything's a hybrid nowadays.
It's fun. I really like it so far. I'm going to try to play more this weekend, but I got to beat a game first. The focus is on our first topic.
Thanks for the subs, y'all. We love you.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys and girls, thank you so much for those subs. We really appreciate that support. Y'all are the best. And I did not like where that one was. The alert box is a little low. I'm going to raise her up a little bit here.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that was a little low.
Freaks out a little bit.
I do. It pisses me off when that shit's low like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want the names front and center. Y'all are low. You damn right we're low. Low and slow, right? Low and slow. That's smoker talk, right? That's cool.
I guess.
Y'all, do you mean low like volume? Or are you just like low life?
Are you just saying we're like scumbags?
Are you saying we're low lives? Or are you saying we're
like
low volume?
That cracker song?
Yes,
like,
what?
Be with
like,
King
really?
Girl,
Our voices are low?
Like being low.
No, there's no way we're low, man.
Like
the little bar is in the yellow, almost to the red. Really?
To me. Try turning it up, King.
Thanks, Zach. Thank you for... I have y'all cranked.
Yeah, well, check your settings. Maybe your sound card's broken. Maybe a sound card. What up, guys? Appreciate everybody.
Brian MX, what's going on, dude?
Been a minute, dude. What's up?
What is happening? Yeah, you're pretty quiet for once. Really?
I can hear you fine.
I can hear you
Like
fine.
I said, it might be me. Like it might. It's
is this
definitely
like a group troll right now?
It
Are
might
they like,
be.
hey guys, let's fuck with them. Let's tell them they're
because you
fucking
got to
lowlifes.
realize if you say that to him, it's gonna fuck with him. He's gonna think
it's
about
gonna bother the
oh,
shit. I mean, I'm gonna be
yeah.
like starting messing around. Like, where is it?
Yeah,
Where's the settings?
don't do
at?
this.
Low lifes is accurate.
That's
Hey,
absolutely
Forge, you know
accurate.
what? I own it.
Yeah.
I own it. I don't run from that. I don't run from that label. I own it.
Just talking about you earlier, Forge. That haven't decided yet for the MSU U of M game, but definitely might want some Tomato Brothers that weekend. Just saying.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that game, but I digress.
As
we get closer, we're really gonna probably
Michigan
talk about
State can win this weekend against Indiana, which can be Indiana can be tough at home. If you're not prepared, they can be a problem. Michigan should be able to handle. I think they have Rutgers.
Michigan's got a bye this week.
They're off this week. Then they have Rutgers the following week.
But then we get a bye before going into the game.
Yep. After this week, Michigan State's off, and I don't like that. I don't like a week off before that game. I don't want them sitting around too much. But yeah, by all accounts, they both should be undefeated come October 30th, which is going to be a shit show. Oh, Northwestern. I'm sorry, Northwestern before. Right, not Rutgers, but Northwestern. And Northwestern, that's another team, man, where if you're not prepared, they can catch you. They can bite you in the ass. But I don't expect that to be an issue for Michigan. They should be able to roll over them. And then October 30th, we'll settle it. It'll get settled.
Pride comes before the fall.
Pride comes before the fall. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool, man. I'm happy for you, Josh. I'm happy that your boys in blue are an amazing team and the best team in the country.
Oh, that's right. He's a fan of the overrated coach.
Dude, he was telling me the other day they're the best team in the country. So it's it is not. It has not been announced yet what time the game is. I think they're waiting to see if they announce this as a fucking noon game, Josh. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. If both these teams are undefeated. If both teams are undefeated, if this shit's a noon game, it's a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
They need to push that. That has to be a 3:30 a lot game. I don't think they'll ever make it a night game because people will die.
Yeah, and very honestly, at the end of the day, we got to keep Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, I mean Paul Bunyan, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
And didn't Michigan really have to work for their win last weekend? To be fair,
dude, Forrest, there's no way it's no way it's a 7:00 game. Michigan and Michigan State will never have a 7:00 game. People would die at the tailgates.
People would die at the tailgates.
People would kill one another at tailgates. MSU hates people partying. Will always be in it. They'll go for a 3:30 game. They'll go for a 3:30, and it's awesome. Forge, I don't know if you've heard this, but Izzo is actually pushing the athletic director and the athletic department to get them to let people tailgate like they used to. When I used to tailgate there when I was like in college back in the day, where you could get up at 1 a.m. and start and get in line. Then Izzo is pushing for the university to start letting people tailgate early in the morning again. It's been a long time since they've let people
and
go
burn
out
some
there.
couches. And
When was our last 3:30 game? Probably when both teams were good. I mean, not to make fun. I mean, Michigan's been trash for like the better part of the last decade.
Oh yeah,
and so they're never going to. They haven't had one since 2011. And I mean, look, if they're both undefeated, it's not even going to be their decision. The network is going to ABC or ESPN. They're going to be look. It's a 3:30 game. Both schools will adamantly say no way to primetime. 7:00 is no fucking way.
Really?
No way. Seriously, people will die. They don't want those two fucking camps together all day for a night game.
And drinking all day.
Dude, it would be a disaster. It'll be a 3:30 game. Both teams undefeated, it's 3:30. If it's noon, it's a fucking joke. And both schools should be shamed for it. If both schools push for a noon game, they're both shamed for it. But I can tell you right now, there's no way Michigan or Michigan State will ever go out and be like, hey, let's do a night game. No. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. Both fan bases are too fucking stupid to be out that late drinking. It'd be a disaster.
Half the state would catch on fire.
It would be really bad.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It should be a 3:30 game. If it's a noon game, I'm going to be pissed because I'm supposed to go down and tailgate that day. That means I got to get down there at like 7:00 and start drinking and be done drinking by 11:30 before we go, or whenever. Oh, actually, we're not tailgating this year. We played a night game at U of M in 2017. It rained a lot. Was it a night game? Are you sure? It was a night game?
He's on his phone.
Oh, it might have been.
A little bit of local sports there for everybody out there. If you're not from the Michigan area, the
I don't have
Michigan
anything wrong with the
State game
Guddles.
is.
I don't have anything wrong with it. I won't last. I'll be
Oh, no,
passed
yeah.
out. I want
No.
to be able to enjoy the entire day of drinking.
Like, the point is that we're trying to make here.
I'll be dead by the halftime of a fucking noon
right,
game.
is when these two play, it's like Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting. Like, it's fucking worlds colliding. It is you drink until you dead. And when you win, you still riot and burn couches.
I think
like,
Forge is right. I think I do remember that night game at Michigan. I remember it was like, but it was one of those instances where everyone was kind of like, "Wow, that's weird. Really, we're doing a night game." You're old. Yeah, I mean, I am old. I'm not gonna lie to you on that. I can't do it like I used to, man. I used to be able to fucking just go hard at these tailgates.
Don't play. This motherfucker's drinking like all day, half the time, and doing shotgun beers like all night. Don't let him tell you what's going on.
CJ Hill's bringing up some real. That was the dark past.
Yeah.
When I lived over on Bond Street with a couple buddies, and we had actually it was an epic house party. It was 2002, and that's when Michigan State. That's when they ran, or when Michigan ran Bobby Williams out of the university. Like that was the weekend he got fired. It was like a 49-3 bloodbath, and I don't remember much about the day. All I remember is I passed out on the top of our house on the roof, and it was like a 2-story house. I mean, we were on the corner of Bond or Mackinac or Brockway and Bond, like right over there by like Scottish Inn.
Oh yeah, I know where it's
And
at.
dude, that party was epic.
Not a great area these days.
It was epic, but man, I don't remember shit. And I passed out on top of the house. Sean, Scott, and Eric had to come up there and actually get me off the roof because I would have probably fallen to my death. 22 ounce thrown against the wall every time. That's true. I did. We were throwing glass. I mean, it was bad. It was a complete annihilation. But it was fun. It was a good time, but I can't do that anymore. I would need to take like 2 weeks off of work just to recover. Because I can't do it anymore.
Just make sure to take either some Alka-Seltzer, aspirin, some water before bed. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But that all that does is just slow down when the effects show up.
It makes it better than
it makes the morning good. Yeah, but come noon or like 1 o'clock, and then all of a sudden my body's like, oh yeah, remember what you did last night? Boom, here you go. Hot sauce burns it all. That sounds like the worst fucking advice ever, Blanco.
Huh.
I'm still drunk from when I was in the Navy from 01 to 05. But I mean, you've earned that right. You've earned that right. Okay? You've earned that right. So am I buying Dread or not? Yes. You are, because we're going to talk about it right now. Tone? Metroid Dread came out.
Yeah.
To critical acclaim. I mean, when the reviews dropped, we were like, oh, shit, this is going to be hype.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have played it. I'm a little bit further along than you, but I want to come to you first. I want to get your initial impressions of what you have played so far in Metroid Dread.
It's first of all, it's a really pretty looking game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the best looking Switch game out there, but I love Metroidvania games. And I like that we're at a place now where instead of the background just being pitch black, it has like living moments and things going on in 3Ds, and it's been like that for a while when you look at like games like Shadow Complex or whatever like this. But
sure.
This game is still one of the originators. It's still one of the queens of the genre, and they come swinging with it. Very honestly, my only feeling so far of it is that, first of all, I like the Emmys. I think that adds a different layer to it of apprehension and even fear and like fucking rage at times. Like there's a lot of different things this game makes you feel. However, my only complaint so far, and I'm not as far as everybody else, and I know you have to go back and once you get different power-ups, explore different areas, I feel like for the most part the game is very like it's kind of taking you in like almost kind of one direction. Like you're almost just kind of keep going the same way. There's a little less there's a little less exploring for trying to find out where you're going. The game's kind of moving you along, and that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I was just kind of surprised by that.
Really, man, I got lost quite a bit.
Did you? See,
yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like I kind of got my thing, but I'm always I dig deep into that map pretty heavily. Like I'm always looking for like little hidden areas and different things that I might have missed or moving on forward. But at the end of the day, this is a fantastic entry. I actually am usually a little critical of the suit changes that the character typically does. Because some of the other ones like Fusion, some of the other ones I thought were like, I don't mind the color scheme, it's a little weird. I actually really like this color scheme. I think this aesthetic looks really good for the character. Like I like the kind of the baby blue and the white and things like that. And I'm hoping that we get to see the full on actual suit later down the road. I don't know that we do, because sometimes these non-Prime-esque games typically go back to the like just different colors. Some of the main titles will kind of come around to that title. It's really weird how they work that, and I've always kind of been curious about that. But listen, I've been playing this series since original Nintendo. One of my favorite games on original Nintendo. I beat it on Nintendo, and cheated it on Nintendo too at times. You putting in the Justin Bailey code. Let's not forget how hyped that was, and you found out Justin Bailey was, or basically Samus Aran was a female the entire time after playing it. Back then it was like, what? Like,
right.
Outside of Ripley and things like that, there wasn't a lot to look forward to when it came to strong lady roles leading stuff, especially in video games. So it's just come a long way, and I, it makes me really enjoy still that 2D space and what they can do with that. And it shows not only that the popularity is there for it still, like. I know the game's a little short hours-wise from what I understand from Trick beating it, so that is a little disappointing. I was hoping for something at least 20 or more hours, very honestly. But, again, these games, sometimes that's how they roll. And so that makes me a little frustrated with the price point at that time. Everybody's heard me talk about it before. Like, if it's 12 some hours or under 10 hours, like, should I really be paying $60 for that game? I don't know.
Right.
I
think that's an argument that's always going to exist.
Yeah, and I get it, but like at the same time, like I'd have been fine with 40. It's a pretty big franchise, very honestly. Like if it's 10 or 12 hours, it should be at least 40. It shouldn't be like, look at Aliens Fire Team. That it runs on a more high-powered system.
Right.
Probably has a lot more money involved and looks
way
better.
Lots of replayability with
and lots of replayability. And I paid $20 for the fucking game.
Right.
And I get it. It's Nintendo. It's a big name. It's a first party. We're paying more, but listen, they're always going to sell them at that price. So as long as we keep doing this and buying them, we can sit here and complain about it all day, but we're partly at fault of it. And Nintendo's just always going to get away with that. Because it's Nintendo, and it's how that rolls. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm definitely a little critical of it. But I'm also eating shit while I'm, on the toilet. So here we are. But, at the end of the day, anybody, if you're a fan of the series, definitely pay for it, buy it. It's never going to go on sale. If you enjoy it and you're fine with 12 hours, you're going to enjoy the game. It's a good time. So, well, you're never going to catch it on sale, so buy it sooner than later, Jay.
Here's what I gotta say about it. First of all, this is probably my favorite game on the Switch.
Shit!
It's one that I've
not Mario Kart.
No, I mean, look. There's a lot of great games on the Switch. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great games on the Switch, but
it's true, King.
Right now, for me, it's just been the most enthralling, the game that I've been really just itching to play the most. So I just want to constantly get back to it and constantly get back to it.
Yeah, same.
A lot of it has to do though is with the combat itself. There is actually kind of a steep learning curve, in my opinion. I think there is, just because of how involved the control schemes are.
The
control scheme is really a lot going on.
It's for a game like this, a lot fucking going on.
Going from precision aiming to using your grappling, you're holding down different bumpers,
switching to your missiles,
using different buttons. I mean, there is a lot going on, and it's even more obvious when you get to the boss battles. Because the boss battles are all about timing, and you're constantly trying to figure out, okay, I got to get out of this situation really quick. I got to use the grappling hook, and then you use that, and you bounce around your fingers like, oh, shit. And then I got to aim this, and I got to fire with my rockets, and I got to hold this button. There's a lot going on with the control scheme. Now, look, I am not a super fluent Metroid person, so I don't know if this is how it is in all the fucking Metroid games, but
really.
There is a lot going on with this control scheme. I'm not saying it's bad. One, I do get a rhythm figured out with the boss and what I'm supposed to be doing and what abilities I'm supposed to use. Then I kind of just figured out. You just kind of, okay, it's like memory. You're just like, okay, I'm going to get it down, and then you know what you're doing. But
yes,
because the boss battles are so good, and they're really good. They're challenging as fuck.
I died 12 times on the second one with the fucking tail.
Oh, my God.
Nonstop,
yes. Yeah.
Until I figured it out.
The boss battles are elaborate as fuck, and to be honest with you, I feel like there is a major difficulty spike with the boss battles compared to everyone else you're fighting. When I'm going through the world and I'm going through the areas, I have no issue against anybody.
Nothing.
I am just countering and dropping people. I'm like, okay, this is a breeze. This is cool. I'm exploring these awesome levels. No problem. These guys are just fodder. But when you get into these boss battles, you're like, whoa, hold on a sec. I need to reevaluate things. I need to think about stuff because I'm a hot mess. But the boss battles are really fucking good.
You are a hot mess.
Once you start to figure out the patterns, their attack patterns, and what you're supposed to do to beat them, they're actually really, really well-designed battles. Like, I'm really digging that part of it. So, It's that part of it I really dig.
Should canon.
The other thing that I will say, if you do pick this up on the Switch, play it with the Pro Controller.
Absolutely.
Look, I understand the convenience of the Joy-Cons. They're attached to the system, and you want to play them in portable mode. Play it with a fucking Pro Controller and play it docked. Like, look, the biggest issue I have with it is obviously the D-pad, which you don't need, which you can't use to move around. But still, the D-pad sucks on the Joy-Cons. But it's the sticks themselves, especially when you're doing the precision aiming. The fucking Joy-Con analog sticks are trash.
Yeah, you have to have a Pro Controller.
They're trash. They're so bad. And it's just like, I'm sitting there. It's a cool idea. I was like, man, I want to play this in handheld. And then when the boss battle says, I'm like, I don't want to play this in handheld anymore. I want to go to my Pro Controller, and then I get the Pro Controller. I'm like, you know what? This is cool. That's because since 1996, Nintendo controllers have been complete bullshit. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Fuck the N64.
I will argue though that the Pro Controller is a really good
The Pro
controller.
Controller is basically an Xbox controller.
It's a fantastic controller,
Yeah.
and it makes the experience playing this game, especially against the boss battles, a lot better. It's much more manageable, especially with the precision aim, which is really important in some of these boss battles because you only have a certain amount of time to hit a target. And you got to use that precision. So try it with the Pro Controller. I think it's a lot better in that way. And then the other thing about the controls and the combat is the counter. The counter attack, the counter block,
fuck that
and
counter.
the attack is fucking awesome.
Yeah, fuck it. Because I swear some of those Emmys are motherfuckers.
Oh, some of the Emmys are annoying.
Dude, trying to get the timing on them motherfuckers.
Yeah, the Emmy. Oh, I mean, I don't even. I did it one time.
I've done it twice.
Have you done it twice? Yeah, because the Emmys. I think
that.
you have to do it twice, don't you? You have to do two. I think you have to do two blocks. There's two of them. If I remember correctly, when I did the one time I did it, when you get pounced on one, there's one blink at the beginning that you have to hit it.
I don't know.
And then there's another one before he kills you where you have to hit it again, and that's how I got out of it.
No, so I usually either pounce on you or it's upright, and you have to be able to I just don't know. I'm just expecting about I might be missing a cue or a little blink or something. I don't fucking know.
Or you only got to do it once, but you get two chances. Okay, yeah, that's
right
what it is.
because you do it once and they freeze for a minute.
Yeah, and then you can slide under them and get away.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I've been able to do it one time. Well, it's actually technically twice. The tutorial was the first time, which is bullshit. I shouldn't count that, but I'm going to.
Fuck the N64 controller.
But then the second time I actually did it the other day, I was like, oh shit, I actually was able to escape this. So, but I love the counter, especially against even some of the more basic enemies. You really have to kind of learn how they're going to attack you, even when you get that blink. Because some of them are right away, some of them aren't right away. I love the counter. And the other thing I love about the counter is when you do attack after you counter, it automatically targets where they're at.
Yes.
You don't have to sit there and fuck around with the auto, like the precision aiming.
Right.
You counter, you attack, you kill them right away, and it's awesome.
And what I liked about in the boss battle, because I consider the tail thing.
Zach, I agree. I'm sorry. I agree with Zach. You're not meant to be able to do it consistently. It is. It's a fraction of a second to get it right. But if you could be consistent with it, if you learn, if you figure out the timing of the Emmy, I'm sure with some practice you'd be able to get consistent with it because it's all timing.
I just like the second boss. Like I said, to me that's the second boss of the tail because the first boss is kind of like the brain thing or whatever.
Yeah,
which I thought was like a mother brain at first too, and I still think that they're hinting at a little bit of that. I could be wrong on that. I don't know, but. Whatever, but the that second fucking boss, the timing stuff in that one was really fucking cool. Mm-hmm. And at first when I was doing that, I was just charging. And I'm like, why the fuck am I doing that? I just hit that bumper just when it comes around because with all these missiles right into his fucking face. But it took me 12 or 14 tries. And I'll tell you, I was getting heated. I was getting real heated because I was figuring it out, but I was just missing my timing in a couple of things. And once I had, because they give you a chance to get the free life and different things like that. So I started figuring out, and I would get to the third end of that and be so close to I thought killing it, and I would have no health, and then fucking hit me at the tail. I'm like, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, rage inducing.
Yes, but good shit, good boss battles.
Did you see the video? I don't know. Have you fought the boss that's in chains?
No.
Crate. Okay, so anyways, there's a boss in this game. I think it's the second big boss. I'm not talking about the brain thing that you shoot. There was the first one, and then there's the second one, the dude that's shackled. There's a video out there where somebody went ahead and they got the morph ball bomb.
Yeah. Before
they got to that boss, they explored so much where they were able to get the morph ball.
Some got the morph ball.
And when they get to that boss, behind you on the platform where you're standing, if you had, I didn't have the morph ball at the time, so I couldn't do this. But the second phase where I think its name is Kraid comes out of the water, it has like this like wound in its belly, and there's a hole, and you're normally shooting it, but in this video that's going around, somebody had the morph ball. They dropped down, blew a hole in the wall behind them, and there was one of those morph like traveling things. And when you go into it, it just Samus goes up a little bit and fires a bomb into its belly and kills it immediately. And I was like, "What?"
I wonder if everything's got a shtick somehow.
That's what people are wondering. Like how many alternate ways are there to kill these bosses, which is going to be important to know, especially when you get to hard mode. Now, I don't know if hard mode is like New Game Plus, where you get to keep all of your abilities.
It's
probably not going to be, but it's pretty wild when you watch this video because I was just like, holy fuck. It basically eliminates the entire second phase of the battle. You're just like, wow, that is really fucking awesome. Angel says that's a nod to the speedrun on Super Metroid SNES. Interesting. But nonetheless, really, really cool.
No shit.
A couple other things I just want to mention. Yeah, again, the boss battles are exceptional. They can be frustrating a little bit. And I think that comes back to the fact that, again, it's just it's a difficulty spike that you're not expecting. And then the other thing I really like about it is the level design. There's multiple levels in this, different worlds, or different areas you're going to explore, and each of them has their own style and aesthetic, and even the music. It's a really good-looking 2D platform. Like it's really good. It looks really, really good in motion. I think, in my opinion, based on what I've played and what I've seen and the experience and the audio and everything, I don't have a problem with that I spent $60 on this game. I actually think it's really, really good. It's challenging. It's fun. The story is really intriguing. Like, I'm really curious to see where this is going.
Absolutely.
It's actually a really strong story, and if you time going into a ball, you can pop up an insta kill 'em. That's wild, man. Like I said, it's really wild how much like stuff is actually hidden in this game that you wouldn't know until other people discover it. And I feel like that's part of like the appeal of it. You go in there and you can explore and find the items right away. You can go in with a bunch of missiles or you're not. But overall, this is probably my favorite fucking Switch game, man.
And that's great to hear because we want more Metroid. I was thinking here, and I made a face momentarily. Like, I just realized without even thinking about it. Well, I thought about it clearly, but the N64 was the only like major console that didn't have a Metroid of any sort on it, and that's not a shock because that system and that generation sucked.
Oh, Trick, you and I've read multiple people talk about this final boss, and it sounds like it's challenging as fuck, but I just have to remember to go in and just learn the pattern. I am not going to beat the boss on the first go or the second go because I know once you get past the first phase, the second phase is going to be something completely fucking different.
Yep, you'll die 7 times.
I'm going to die there, so.
Yeah. 64 does suck.
I think this game is fantastic. Like, I don't have an issue with it being $60. I think it's a hell of a lot of fun. I think it's great production value. I think they did a great job in every aspect of this game. Like it's a really fucking good.
I just
game.
need to grind it out. I need to get it finished and move into Horizon, for sure. But yeah, great stuff. I mean, again, it's just exciting. It makes you mentioned it. Like, can we please get that Metroid Prime Trilogy remake on the Switch at least so I have something to tie this over?
That's what I want to play. I've never played.
He's never played Prime.
Yeah.
I'd love to play Prime with 2 sticks. With a Pro controller on the Switch. I didn't do it on the Wii because I barely touched the Wii and the Wii U. So to be able to play Prime now with modernized controls would be great because Prime is a fucking classic. It is a fucking perfect game. That game is fucking amazing.
I've heard Other M is trash.
I still want to play. I didn't play it because I wasn't playing it at that time on that system. I do want to play that because I know it kind of switches gears like both between Prime-esque and like 2D, but I know they gave Zero a voice in conversations. And everybody's like, like some characters are better as a silent protagonist. It just works, and it ruined that character to a degree for a while, I think, and that's why they haven't really come around to Prime for a hot minute. But she's been living really strong in handhelds. Fusion came out like a year or two ago, or like Fusion Returns or Samus Returns or whatever it is.
I really wanted to like that, but man, I couldn't fucking play that game with that little nub on the 3D.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem. It needs to be on these systems. And again, one of my few complaints is the fact I can't use the D-pad. I use D-pads on certain fighting games,
And there's
on,
no option to even
Metroidvanias.
switch to it.
No, it's kind of annoying that you can't mess with the controls, but I digress. So far, I'm having a blast. It's a great game, and I guess that's why you got the precision control. But I definitely agree. Have a pro controller for this game.
It's infinitely better and a better experience. Jay Hill asked a good
True.
question. Would you rather have it where the normal bad guys are easy and the bosses are really hard, or where the normal bad guys are harder but the bosses are
The
also
second one.
easier? I actually would prefer it if I don't mind if the normal guys are. I don't like the huge gap. If you want to make it a little bit closer to where maybe the regular enemies are a decent challenge and then the bosses are a hard challenge, I want the bosses to be challenging. I want them to be more difficult. Obviously, they're bosses. But at the same time, I don't want there to be such a fucking wide gap between the fodder that you're slaying around these areas, because I feel like it kind of gives you an idea of like you think you have the game figured out and you have the controls figured out, and you fucking don't know shit when you get into these boss battles. You're like, holy shit, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all of a sudden confused at these controls. So I would rather they just be a little bit closer, but bosses should be done. I think bosses should be
I'm
harder.
the opposite. I like where games make it so like everything that you traverse and the enemies are harder, and then you get to the boss and they're a little bit easier. It's a little bit more of a cakewalk. So like you've worked your ass off so hard to get there, and and then like they kind of make it so the boss is just like, here, do this. It's simple. Move on. Get to the next area and go. Like, for some reason, I feel that's more rewarding for me,
Sure.
and maybe it's because I'm rage-inducing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that just works better for me, and I know that's probably kind of weird because I think most people are typically opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good question, Jay Hill, and you're still a U of M fan, so get out of here.
Yeah, and just so you know, I think the Hannah Montana games are on sale on PSN, so you can play those if you're looking for an easy boss battle.
Yeah, there you go, Jay Hill, with your $50. So don't try to turn that on me,
What
motherfucker.
a chicken shit.
I don't know what our next topic is quite yet. I know you got something planned, but I do want to make a brief announcement.
Announcement.
I got a little announcement here. Miss Cannon here has gave me a little bit of information on, if you guys recall, about a week ago we were talking about we had a giveaway.
Yes, we did.
That she ran through with the eGeekly.
Oh my!
And a winner has been announced.
Oh, who's the winner?
That winner for the mayor, that Diamond Funko Pop from The Night Before Christmas. Did I say that right?
Yes, it is.
None other
than
the man, the myth, the legend, and the true secret deviant himself, King Cuddles.
Cuddles won?
Cuddles won.
Oh, Cuddles!
Yeah, so congratulations to you.
Cuddles!
eGeekly is sending you a Funko Pop figure. That you won a special one at that, and for our special little guy. And to go with that, I did hear in my ear here. Yep. Check. One of the stipulations is King Cuddle is maybe conversate with everybody in the actual eGeekly Discord. That would be really awesome. People really like you and want to get to know you. So come hang out with us.
He's
in the
like
eGeekly Discord.
The problem is Geekly
Chat
Discord and everybody. Cuddles is old, and he goes to bed early. He's an old man. He goes to work.
Him's a Will guy.
And then he goes home and he goes to bed. He's like, hey, dude, you want to play Back 4 Blood? I'm like, yeah, dude, let's play tonight. And he's like, cool, tonight I'll be on at 6:30. I'm like, what?
Right after I have supper, I'm going to play, and then it's bedtime.
6:30? You're on what?
We're trolling him. This guy sometimes will drink half a fifth in like 2 hours in the middle of the week.
This man's drinking in the middle of the week. Ever. I was at 6. Kiss my ass. My bad, bro.
Yeah.
My bad. When I say tonight, I don't mean 6 p.m.
Right.
Tonight is like tonight at night. But no, congratulations, Cuddles. That's awesome. You got the diamond.
He got that special one, man.
Special platinum mayor pop figure. That's dope, man.
Yeah. Just before they send it out, they said to come in and talk a little bit.
After 9 is naughty time for the wife. Now I fucking wish I would have never brought anything up.
Naughty time for the wife.
It's 9:46. What is she doing right now? Wait, I don't want to know.
Probably watching one of our streams because you're passed out.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next topic. Oh shit! Did I hit the right button? Oh man, I thought I
ended the stream. What did you do?
I thought I hit stop streaming.
Are you smart?
I thought I hit the stop streaming button. I was like, holy shit, we are no longer
Move that
streaming.
fucking button, buddy.
All right.
Buddy.
Let's talk. We got a movie review.
Okay.
We have a single movie review this week.
Uno movie review.
We're talking about The Guilty. What is going on? Why is this stop streaming? What is going on?
What happened?
I think I hit a button because this thing is acting weird. Like my mouse isn't even on the screen.
Can you guys still hear us? Are we
Can
still
you
out
guys
there?
still hear us?
Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Say hello.
I have no mouse.
Did you turn it off? Yep. Blanco says yep. You ever try charging it?
Man, that's so weird. But I mean, like this froze. Like
Did
everything froze.
Did
that
it?
was weird. Okay,
Is your mouse working? They said they can hear us.
They can hear us? All right, hold on. I'm going to do something real quick.
They can hear us.
Okay, that's on. My mouse is completely dead. That's weird. Okay, anyways.
AA batteries?
No, it was weird because like the actual this thing froze, like the OBS. I was like, well, what's going on? What'd I do? All right, so no longer do we have a mouse, so keep an eye on the chat because I can't move it anymore.
Okay.
Sweet. Awesome. Anyways, the movie we're talking about is The Guilty. It's available now on Netflix, directed by Antoine Fuqua, who is the director of Training Day. So obviously very established director. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to make a hell of a good movie. And it stars Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal. We all love Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, love him.
Amazing actor.
Donnie Darko for life.
And this is essentially a 90-minute character study showcase
They go
for
through
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Forge, they go through a lot of batteries in this house. I can just tell you that. Go on.
Seriously, this is just him running the show. This is his movie.
It's a crazy centerpiece.
Yeah, and he's lights out in every scene. Like he does what Jake Gyllenhaal would do. He just carries the fucking movie. And he's basically playing like this. He's this disgraced officer who is in trouble for something that they explain later on in the movie. He's going through a process with court, and he's done some stuff that has landed him at the 911 call-in center. So this is what he's resorted to. In the meantime, it gets him off the street. He's taking 911 calls, and it was just a very unique film.
Mm-hmm.
It's very intense. It's 90 minutes long, and it is just Jake Gyllenhaal running at an 11.
Yes.
I mean, it is a phenomenal showcase for Jake Gyllenhaal. And the other impressive thing about this movie is obviously, you know, when he's working at this 911 center. So there's not a whole lot of other characters in this movie that you see on screen, but the voice cast is crazy with this movie. The people who are calling in are nuts. The main character that's calling in is obviously Emily and Henry. They played by Riley Keough, who was in Mad Max. Peter Sarsgaard, who was in what was the Jarhead with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have Ethan Hawke. He is Bill on the phone. Paul Dano is the lawyer who's friends with the governor who had the hooker in the car with him. That's Paul Dano, which is amazing. Bill Burr calls in as a nightclub owner.
Yeah.
I mean, it has an incredible cast of voice actor or people calling in, playing characters that are calling in on the phone. And it's just this unique tale, and it's honestly, man, there's kind of a wild twist about halfway through with one of the characters calling in that you didn't really see coming, and you're like,
right.
Oh shit. Did they not have an extra $10? Cage was busy making prisoners of the.
He was getting kicked out of bars, man. You know that.
That was a great story.
About his business.
But Tone, overall thoughts on The Guilty?
It was all right. I will agree in a lot of things when it comes to Jake. I really like Jake Gyllenhaal. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he had anything else earlier than Donnie Darko. It slips me. Maybe Bubble Boy or something. I don't know. There was something silly that he was in. I don't remember. But I really, really, really like anything that he's in. And I do agree, Cherry made a good point. This is definitely an intensity side of him you might not normally see. I don't know. I think we've seen some urgency and intensity in him in other ways. But I felt like a lot of the backstory they were trying to push in really almost became irrelevant. And it like...
You mean the story
revolving the problems that he had, because
it comes to the forefront at the end.
It does, but does it really fucking matter? I don't know. I get what they were trying to do with it, but I just didn't feel like the movie was all that. And maybe it's not supposed to be super entertaining. This is not a feel good movie at all. And I thought the twist was great. Some of the voice acting was good. But while he was super intense and there's a lot of urgency and things you might not normally see out of him, I just don't feel like the movie was overly entertaining for me. I had a hard time really getting into it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to keep in mind, I think it's going to be one of those movies that it's so different that it's not going to stick well, I think, with everybody.
Sure.
And clearly I'm somebody who I like a lot of different things. My palette of movies is pretty vast. And this one just really didn't overall. I had hopes for it. I was excited about it, and like after about 90 minutes of it, I was like, I'm kind of glad that was done. Like I was just kind of like over the like wannabe intensity of it and things like that too. Like there was just some things about it that I was having a hard time feeling like I would look at it and go, why the fuck is he doing it like this? Like why the fuck is this going on? Like why the fuck is this character even like doing or saying anything? Like this is irrelevant. Like I don't know if it's trying to showcase like the character or the growth of him, but because he's so like restrained in what he's doing, none of that fucking shit mattered to me. Like it was irrelevant to me. Like the guy sitting next to him, we get a beer and do all this stuff, and like I didn't feel like it felt like some of that dialogue was just a waste of time. Some of the stuff on the phone I felt like was a waste of time. So it was cool. I like the idea. I appreciate the concept, but at the end of the day, it just really didn't do anything for me. In a month, we're never gonna think about this movie again. It's another one of those for me. I do give Gyllenhaal a lot of credit because it's definitely. I don't think this is an easy movie that any actor could have done, and I don't know whether or not there are better actors out here that could have done this. I don't know if he's the best person for this, but at the end of the day, it's all right.
No, I thought he was the perfect choice, is because Jake Gyllenhaal has displayed in the past that he has this incredible range. He can go through an incredible range of emotions, and we got to see that in this movie. And I do love the all-star cast. I thought, for the most part, everybody was really good, except for Peter Sarsgaard, which is weird.
Yeah,
I did not like him as Henry.
Campy as fuck.
Henry was really campy, but I really did like Riley Cole as Emily.
I thought she was fantastic.
She was, she was
very believable.
Really, she was believable, and she was creepy as fuck. But Peter Sarsgaard did not really blow me away as Henry. But everyone else does a really good job. But I can't help but wonder, man, because of the talent that's involved, if a lot of these scenes would have been much more impactful, especially the ones with Peter Sarsgaard, if he would have been on camera and he was able to... Because, I mean, voice acting is really difficult. You're basically trying to act without being able to use your body and
I wonder if that
stuff.
was part of the problem for me.
I think that might have been for me. I feel like a lot of these scenes, especially the ones with Emily, would have been much more impactful if I would have gotten to see. Because Riley Keough is a really good actress. She's really good. And I would have liked to have seen scenes with her or Peter Sarsgaard or even Ethan Hawke as Sarge calling in. There's all sorts of scenes that I would like, man, I feel like if we would have gotten to see other performers act, it would have complemented Gyllenhaal's performance a little bit better. Because I just felt like, man, I don't know.
You'll die on alone, Jerry.
There's just some of these calls were just like, these are kind of cringy.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I feel like that's made up for in a degree is like the amount of intensity in this movie. This is a very intense movie. It's not a feel good movie. It's a sad movie, and it's really fucking intense because of what Gyllenhaal is able to do on screen. The way he's able to, get his emotions out there. It's a very intense movie. It's a draining movie. It's a depressing movie to a degree. So there's not. I just think in general, it's not a feel good movie.
No, and I think that's one of the things that is actually an allure to it. Again, like I don't know what it was that just didn't connect with on it, and maybe it was because of like you say about the voices, you're not seeing people, you're not seeing the emotion because body language is important.
Right.
They kept talking about his issues, and I know it comes full circle at the end, but I felt like they wouldn't shut up about it, and it was like I'd rather not even hear about this and focus on what's going on with this phone call.
Right.
Because I felt like that shit at the end of the day, like I get why it was important,
right?
Because
it all ties together.
Right. It grew that character,
yep.
But at the same time, like it felt like it wasn't as impactful because the rest of the time they just kept trying to shove it down your throat and you had no idea what was going on.
Right.
And like the call to his partner and stuff like that, like some of that stuff was good. And yes, Gyllenhaal again, like he did a great job with this. I just don't know how well he sold me compared to maybe somebody else in that role.
Really?
Yeah,
man, because I was hooked. I thought he was brilliant. Like I thought he was a phenomenal. I thought he was incredible in this movie. Like I really liked him.
And I don't know. And again, I don't know if it's really his fault or for me where I was missing some of those connections with some of the other story pieces of it as well.
Right.
But again, like I said, like I get it. Like I can understand why people would disagree with that. But for me, just there was something about it. I don't know.
No, that's fair. Okay, look, we're going to take a quick pee break. Because I have to be able to move around.
He's going to freak out about this mouse, dude.
It's going to piss me off. So make sure you enter in. You have 30 minutes to get into the for the giveaway for the $20 digital code of your choice. ! Enter. Get into that. We're going to do a pseudo pee break. I'm going to go get some batteries for this mouse because I have to be able to move stuff around. And we have a special segment coming up in just a moment.
And not only that, too, but it's going to be an extra couple minutes because he's going to have to get him out of his other devices.
Oh, my God. Will you grow up? You're so immature. You're so immature.
All
right. We'll be back in just a moment. Exclamation point, enter. We'll be right back. Finally, I feel normal again. My mouse is working. I can actually move stuff around. We're good to go. Now,
Craig Robinson.
Tonight, we talked about it last week. We had a debate breakout in the chat. We need to give away real-life gift cards so she can enter. I mean, like, what does she want? What does she want me to get a gift card from?
What kind of gift card?
I mean, I got to go to fucking Walgreens and buy a gift card? What does she want me to go?
What kind of...
What kind of gift card does she want?
I mean, she does support...
Adam and Eve, Amazon, Applebee's.
I mean, Amazon's fair.
And...
That's fair.
I mean, I guess I could do Amazon. Does Amazon have digital cards?
Yeah, man. It's fucking 2021, bro. Move along.
Do they have digital cards? I mean, they have digital cards. I'm not sending her a physical card. I'll send her a digital Amazon card.
You should send her a physical card. That'd be dope.
Dude, I'm going to make that this. I'm going to send that faster than I send Jay Hill his prize.
He still hasn't gotten his prize?
Of course it's been sent.
You piece of shit.
It's been sent upstairs.
What a real piece of shit. This is going to be a real short segment, everybody. We're going to let Cherry have her chance to make her stance.
Last week,
8 years too late.
We were talking about movies that we enjoy, and Tone went off about This Is the End as being one of the greatest comedies of all time.
One of my favorites, man.
One of his favorites. And in the chat, Cherry Squishy came out swinging.
Yeah.
She came out swinging. She said this movie fucking sucks. She said it was trash. Trash. And Tone was like, nah, baby. It's treasure.
Definitely treasure.
So, we're having voice issues. We're going to try to get Cherry Squishy in here. And it looks like she might be okay.
Oh, my God. Did it work?
Oh,
look at that.
Tone, you're not off the hook.
Look what happens when you plug the mic in.
You're not off the hook, Tone.
Sweet.
Actually, I switched to my computer because I had to tell you how wrong this fucking movie was and how wrong you are.
Wow.
Please give us your 8-year-old review. We're listening.
I mean, so I really thought that the movie might have been because I was with my ex-husband that I was like, okay, maybe it's the audience, the ambience.
Blanco, is she talking? Wait,
I think Blanco's doing a bit.
Blanco, are you doing a beer? Okay, Blanco's doing a bit. God damn it, Blanco, you son of a bitch.
Continue, Cherry.
Go ahead, please.
So I thought maybe with the ambiance of like the past with an ex, that's why this movie sucked. So I spent money to rent this goddamn movie, and I would rather watch Mortal Kombat 24/7.
Oh, okay.
Mixed with Kong versus Godzilla.
That speaks
volumes.
volumes.
What's wrong with Kong versus Godzilla?
Oh, nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great movie. I would rather watch this movie on repeat than This Is the End.
Wow.
The only good part about this movie was the Backstreet Boys and the actual end of the movie. When the movie was over.
The Backstreet Boys.
Of course. But I will admit that there was Danny McBride making a couple jokes. That was
a couple jokes.
The pop reference jokes of the Skynet, Hermione stole her shit, and then when Michael Cera died, those were okay. Those are okay. However, that's the only good stuff that I have to say about the movie.
What are the bad? I mean, hit him with. This is your chance to dunk on this fucking loser.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do it.
I woke up.
What sucks about this movie, Cherry? Tell me everything that sucks. Dunk on this loser repeatedly.
So Jay is so annoying. He's such a pussy that I just want to strangle him.
Oh.
Like, fucking nut up, man. Like, fucking nut up, okay? And then I'm trying to force all of the weed jokes like it's the sequel to Pineapple Express that you would get bootlegged in a porno shop. Like, that's what I feel like this movie is. And then it's also like, how many celebrities can we pound into this movie?
That was the point.
Maybe if we put another celebrity in, it might up our good factor, and it might up the entertainment value, that it might be more than just a piece of
takes
shit
place in
with
the LA
gold
Hollywood
paint on
area.
it.
That's the point. Continue.
I really think that, like, my personal opinion of this movie is that they were trying to force their personality through it. So it was like an over exaggeration of what people think that their personality is.
That was the
and
point.
That's where they failed. If they would have just done the regular personality and spaced out the jokes, like, listen, I like a good dick joke, okay? But this is like one after the other, and it's like, okay, I get it. Your penis is 2 inches. Okay,
so
let's get over it.
I don't know, Blanco. I'm curious too. Good question.
no, Cherry,
yeah. If you got
hit him,
yeah,
hit him.
This is your stage. Go right
Cherry,
ahead.
bury this fucking loser, please. Continue.
Like, and then the rapture scenes, that was more like an alien abduction, and it felt like it should have been in a bad sci-fi movie than this movie, okay? Like, they could have completely done the rapture scene, and if they would have done it completely different, just like where people
More like
just
drooling mortally.
Well, like, if people would have just disappeared and there would have been like a little thing of smoke and their clothes fell on the ground, and then the celebrities start freaking out, that would have been completely better than this stupid, like, beam, like, oh, hey, we're going up to heaven, but maybe we're going to get raped by aliens. Who the fuck knows? Like, so fucking stupid. Like, I feel like I could go on a tirade for like 20 minutes on how stupid this movie is.
Do it.
And I really, really wish I wouldn't have spent money. I wish I could get that money back, and I wish I would have had that time back that I will never get.
I don't know if you maybe and you know, if you missed this, and it's perfectly fine. I guess it's 8 years old. It's been a while, but you know, the beam of light was meant to be a representation of the rapture as well, right?
Well, obviously they've never cracked open a book, and you can tell that they never cracked open a book.
You know, it was a parody of Revelations in the Bible, anyways. It's a parody. I mean,
I know what a parody is.
You get to see a big demon dick.
Oh yeah, the demons looked like they were gremlin puppets on crack. Like, it was just so stupid. Like, I could do better makeup in the dark, blindfolded, in the backseat of a car than they did.
Oh.
So besides the potential chip on your shoulder about this movie, what actor is the one that upsets you about this movie? Who is it that you really don't like in this movie? There's got to be somebody, because there's something.
The only good actor in this entire movie was Danny McBride.
The only actor. Danny McBride.
Yeah. And then Rihanna when she slapped Michael Cera. But that is totally wouldn't happen, because Rihanna is too cool for this bunch of losers, and I don't understand why she defamed herself by being in this stupid ass movie.
And so the characters,
get them, Cherry.
The characters may be playing parodies of themselves to for the movie, right? Did they fail?
Failed.
Did they fail?
Yeah, they failed.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
they
fair.
failed.
Okay.
This is a hill I will die on. This movie sucked.
Okay.
They failed. It could have been an epic movie. Oh. Epic. But it wasn't.
Okay.
It could have been an epic movie. They would have spaced out the jokes, if they would have had more of a nonchalant personality, and then if they would have put in a few regular people in there, and then if they would have changed the makeup and changed a little bit of the parody of the Revelation, it would have been an epic movie. But they didn't do any of that, and it's a stupid ass movie that I hate.
You didn't like the parody of the fact they were trying to create a parody of the Christian revelations in the Bible. You weren't a fan, is what you're saying.
No, because I've seen better parodies. I've seen knockoff Christian films that done a better parody than this one.
I don't know if you know this, but some of these guys have been in Hollywood for a long time and have done a lot of movies and a lot of different parodies.
Yeah, okay.
Comedies.
So, and your point is? Your point is, I could know the alphabet. I'm trying
to figure out the real reason why I don't like this movie. That's all I'm trying.
It could be.
These are probing questions.
I know the alphabet, but I can't say it backwards.
Okay. So let me ask you this then.
Just give me the word and I'll get her out of here.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Cherry, stand your ground. Fuck this guy.
So I don't like. Listen, I think part of the problem here is maybe we're trying to read in too much of maybe a parody or comedy, because I don't know if you're familiar with fantasy comedies, but dick and fart jokes, that they're playing in the Revelations. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie called Ghostbusters, but ghosts aren't real and neither is goes are, and that's kind of a parody as well.
For example, some of the same cast actually did Your Highness. Your Highness was a funny movie.
Yeah, it's
okay?
a very funny
While
movie.
it wasn't like cream of the crop,
but not a lot of critics, not a lot of users thought that movie was funny, and they think opposite of this movie. Your Highness is very funny.
They're wrong. You're wrong.
Oh, they're wrong about so they're wrong about that. Oh,
well, Tone. No, Cherry. I'm going to defend you for a moment. Tone.
Yeah.
85% of the world thinks you're wrong about Venom.
Well, there's a difference.
I'm just saying, 85% of Rotten Tomato users think you're a loser.
I have that prepared. So we're talking about two different things. One being something that's been established for 30 plus some years that already has a rich background that doesn't need to be adapted.
Like fantasy parodies have a rich background as well. Oh yeah, and they fucked it up with a movie.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your movie here that you love.
I was half listening, very honestly. But
sure. El Blanco says you hate joy. You hate joy.
To piggyback off of what Tone said, that they had 30 years of blah, 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 blah. They've had so many years of fantasy comedies that they have done that they've had a background for, and they fucked this one up.
I don't know about that. I would actually argue from my standpoint that the Bible is kind of a fantasy comedy, and I thought they did a pretty good parody of it, but that's just me. Along with that as well, too,
okay, so wait a minute. So if the Bible is a parody, then why would they need to do a parody of a parody?
Well, I don't know. You ask everybody that's rewritten the Bible over the last X amount of years.
Okay, but that still doesn't. You just said it was a parody of the Bible, but why would they do a parody of a parody? And just like the parody, if the Bible is a parody,
well, why
it's
not?
A pretty good parody.
I
so why
know.
would they fuck it up?
I honestly don't know why we're having
a discussion.
I don't know why we're trying to take a comedy so seriously. That's why I guess where my confusion and breakdown is, because at the end of the day, it's a fantasy. It's a dark comedy fantasy based off of something that some of us feel is already a fantasy as it is.
So if it's a fantasy and a parody, and you're already laughing at it, why make a stupid piece of trash about something?
They're making parody because at the end of the day, there is some form of moral in there. And you were complaining about Jay Burchnell being a weak, dead character whining all the time. It was actually, if you pay attention to the underlining about it, there's actually moral about friendship in here too, and that's where it all grew. Come back at the end.
Okay.
That's where it grew through in the end. If you want to be honest about it, the friendship part about Jay Burchnell having a problem with Seth Rogen growing past him and him having a problem with him making new friends and dealing with things like that, he had to deal with the fact that he had to adjust to that as well too.
He was just jealous because Seth Rogen was.
You can take her out of the chat now.
He was putting on this fake persona, and everybody wanted to suck his dick, and he wasn't getting to suck his dick anymore. That's what it is. He was just jealous.
You're dying, and that's fine. We do die alone, and I hope you enjoy your hill. That you're entitled to that. Jonah Hill won't even join you on that hill.
Buried under it.
This movie is nonstop cameos and bits, and that's the point. It's not really supposed to be taken seriously. It's literally a parody of the apocalypse, the biblical apocalypse.
I've seen movies where they've had nonstop cameos. Yeah, and tons better.
Okay, well, I guess maybe we should critique Dogma next as well too. So.
No.
Because I would say there's a lot of similarities between that too.
Tread
and that's
carefully.
Also a parody of a lot of the things in the
Dogma
Bible.
is actually that's.
Is it? It's different now.
Yeah, Dogma's a good movie. Dogma's a good movie. Yes.
It is a very good movie. You're right on that.
If this is the end, would have spaced it out and done it how they did Dogma, then This Is the End would have been just as epic as Dogma. But they didn't, and they missed it, and that's why it's a piece of shit painted gold.
I don't think they missed it at all, and I think
Fanboytone.
I think you have a chip on your shoulder somewhere about this movie, and I think that's resonating through. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's what's happening here.
Like
it's a chip, and we're gonna figure it out.
Maybe the chip is Fanboytone likes this movie.
Well, that's on you, not on me.
I just saying it's a stupid waste of time. I would rather get an invasive gyno exam than watch this movie ever again.
Oh my Lanta! Okay, time out.
Okay, yeah, time for you to go.
It's getting crazy up here, Cherry. Cherry, first of all, thank you for calling.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming in here. You stood your ground. You dunked on this fucking clown.
Who the fuck are you?
And I'm
the
going
judge
to
of this
make
bullshit?
highlights of this clip and put it everywhere. You walked in here, you pimp slapped this little bitch, and I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you,
I would
Cherry.
argue our time was wasted, but continue,
Cherry.
please.
Oh, like
this-
the movie? We wasted our time watching this stupid movie.
No,
Gotcha.
no, clearly not.
Gotcha.
Clearly
Cherry, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate
We do
it.
Thank
appreciate
you, guys.
you. We love
Have
you.
a good
Love you
night,
guys.
sweetheart.
You're the best.
Woo! Man.
I don't know if I don't know how.
Tone, do you need a break? You got
not at all.
completely wrecked live on Twitch here.
those weren't even relevant. Those
we
were,
got a man down.
Those
Man
you can shut
down.
the fuck up. If anything, you're gonna get me heated. Because those were. I'm sorry, but I don't feel how most of those were relevant points. That was honestly coming from a place of some issue, whether it's with a character, whether it's I don't know what, but I have never met anybody in my life that had brought this movie up and have not said that movie's fucking hilarious. And to me, it's one of the funniest comedies of all time. And yes, it is a full on parody of the characters, which I'm a big fan of when celebrities parody themselves. These people, including Rihanna, at least have a good enough sense of humor to make fun of themselves and be in a movie like this. I don't know the connection between Rihanna and these characters. I don't think that matters at that point. They're literally in the Hollywood, LA area. James Franco being like thinking he's this great big star and all these things going on, has these people over, and guess what? The biblical apocalypse hits. And there's fucking demons with fucking dicks, Danny McBride pissing on the toilet seats, flipping people off, all kinds of things. Channing Tatum is fucking a simp or whatever he is. Like, listen, like, this is not a movie we overly analyze so much again. And I bring up Dogma because as a super fan of anything Kevin Smith, Dogma is a brilliantly written movie. The only thing that they have in common with each other for the most part is that they parody some form of Christianity in some point. And that's entertaining because both of them did it funny, yes. Now, again, like, if we're going to criticize this movie, we would also need to criticize Dogma then as well, too. So
We have a winner.
Oh,
Jimmy Z99, you are the winner of this week's giveaway. Make sure you hit ! claim. If you're still here, Jimmy, you have 1 minute, bro. 1 minute to hit ! claim. Jimmy Z is currently there. It is. Woo!
thanks, dude. Appreciate you. Can't wait to
Congrats
meet
Jimmy
you.
Z. We will be seeing him on Friday
Very
night.
excited about that, dude. Very
Tone,
excited.
do you want to quick talk about that really quick before
Yeah,
we move on?
yeah. I'd rather move on from this way. So,
Hey.
you try to get me going
I'm
too.
t-
Fuck you.
She got
Fuck
you
you.
going.
You piece
And
of shit.
seriously, Cherry.
Yeah, but seriously, we do
Thank
appreciate you getting
you
involved.
calling in and dunking
Good
on this
stuff.
fool.
You shut the fuck up with your shit.
Just
You
got
don't even know what a
clowned
dunk
live.
is.
I cannot
I'm
wait
gonna
to make
show you a
clips of
dunk
this.
after the show, motherfucker.
Ooh.
All right, so Friday night we are going to do a little local B&B get together. There's a brew pub or brew house or brewery, I guess, maybe a little bar, whatever. I guess I don't know for sure, but it's the Oracle Brewing here on Hamilton Street. We're gonna meet up around 6:30. Drasen's gonna be in town. Half-Ass Beer's gonna be there. Dude's gonna be there. Trick, I don't know if you're gonna be able to make it up. Hopefully you can make it up as well too. But Jimmy's gonna be around as well too. Is it Jimmy J? Is that what he's out? I mean, yeah. Jimmy Z, JZ989 in the Discord as well too. We're gonna get together, have some local brews, support local business. Hopefully bump some elbows with stuff. Pikachu claims she may be there. I don't know if that's true or not, but look out if she does. She like to get wasted as well too.
Yeah, if Pikachu shows up.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if
gonna
we
be
can
it's
stream
gonna
that.
be a mess. And then
Can we stream? Can we stream to Twitch from our
so
phones?
here's the thing. We need to do something, whether you bring the camera, whether we stream live, but we've been already talking about with King that we should probably do some form of like Discord stream and get King there so he can be on camera and be there like drinking with us while we're there. That
You
would
bring
be
it up
fucking
on your
hilarious.
Phone. I think
absolutely.
I can do it to the Twitch channel from my phone, and I will set up my phone on the table and have it streamed to everybody. I can do that.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
We'll do a Friday night stream at the bar, getting shit faced.
You bring the camera. We want to try.
No, it's gonna be from my phone.
No, I mean just saying.
Oh, you mean take pictures?
Yeah, do some pictures.
Bringing that fucking camera to the bar? Are you kidding me?
It's not like a normal bar. This is a brew. This is a brew place. It's not gonna be like going to the fucking
it's
retro
sagging
Rocks.
off.
It's Oracle Brewing.
Okay, well, all right.
Hey, Jimmy, what's the crowd like at Oracle Brewing on a Friday night?
It's a bunch of dudes. Like the Dude79, a bunch of those guys. Something's gonna break.
Yeah, Morley, that'd be great. Come out and have a beer with us. That would be awesome.
Yes,
if anybody,
Morley.
yes,
go.
please come out.
Let's
anybody
go.
that's available.
It's gonna be wild.
But
It's
I
gonna be
want
on and
herpes
popping.
when I crush them. Yes.
I like how I'm like, dude, I can't get shit faced because I have soccer games at 8 o'clock in the
Not
morning.
my problem.
But
Fuck off.
but the Weather Channel says heavy rain early in the morning.
Fuck you.
Let's go.
Saturday night then, here in town, 7:30 ring time.
Oh yes.
Rohit Raju, Johnny Bravo, Rosemary, all of Impact will be here locally wrestling.
Carlton.
So Tricky, I know you're going to be up here Friday. You might want to bring the kids up on Saturday for that ring time and hang out. And we're going to get some. You're going to bring the camera that night too, because I'm telling you
I'm
what
gonna
to do.
bring everything.
That's right. We're going to get some content going this weekend. We're going to be out and about. Let's hang out. It's Drasson's up in town. He comes in a few weekends a year. We're gonna get everybody, maybe meet some new friends that we haven't got to meet in real life.
It's gonna be shenanigans.
Really, really excited. So,
well, now that Tone got destroyed, let's move on to our next topic.
Dumb
We've
piece
got
of shit. I can't wait
some
to
trailers
slash
we
the
want to
fuck
talk
out of
about
your
tonight.
tire.
We
You're gonna
have
to
a
change
couple
every single tire.
awesome ass trailers. I'm gonna
You
give
son of a
Tone
bitch.
a little bit of time to
I'm gonna
recover because he
fucking
just got
stab you.
completely
If you
annihilated.
take the knife and you twist a
Let's
little bit,
talk
it makes
about
it so it doesn't.
we have two trailers we're going to talk about horror movies because it's October. We're going to talk about some horror movies. And this first one is one we're really excited about because it involves the great Guillermo del Toro.
The great.
Let's check out the trailer for Antlers.
Can anyone give me an example of a myth or a story they're afraid of? Lucas.
We found the heart of a man in the woods today. The other half was found in the mine. This has got to be an animal. No animal I've ever seen.
Something is going on with Lucas. These drawings belongs to a student of mine.
This is what was in the mine. It's a diabolical spirit.
This is a myth you're talking about.
For you, yeah. But a cautionary tale to the people who believe in it.
He'll come for me. He needs me.
Tone.
Yeah.
Antlers. Now, this is actually from top to bottom a star-studded event.
Yeah.
Directed by Scott Cooper, who directed Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges, which got him an Oscar. Black Mass with Johnny Depp. And Out of the Furnace with Christian Bale, Woody Harrelson, and an all-star cast. We have a very talented director at the helm of this movie. We have Kerry Russell, Jesse Plemons,
Real quick.
Graham Greene.
Kerry Russell will always be one of my all-time favorite Mouseketeers. Just saying.
She's incredible.
Going out there.
Rory Cochrane, Amy Madigan. The movie, it's a legendary ancestral creature stalks an isolated Oregon town. It's produced, as we mentioned, by Guillermo del Toro and David Goyer, who wrote the Nolan Batman movies and the Blade movies. So, I mean...
Well, who else do you want? I mean, at that point...
At this point, dude, at every level of this movie, you have top-tier talent. Like I said, Kerry Russell, Jesse Plemons, Graham Greene, Oscar winner Graham Greene. He was in... oh, gosh. What was the Kevin Costner... No, not Waterworld. The one he did before that was like the real big... Dance
with Wolves.
Yeah, there you go.
He was
Dance
the
with Wolves.
lead guy of the tribe.
Yes. Yep.
Tonka.
Yep. Graham Greene, Oscar-nominated actor. Jesse Plemons is good. Kerry Russell's amazing. Rory Cochrane was Slater in Dazed and Confused, but he was also gone on to be in great movies like Argo with Ben Affleck, which was an amazing movie.
Oh yeah.
He was great in that, and then Amy Madigan,
yeah.
who's been in, she was in Field of Dreams. I mean, just a really talented cast. And this drops on October 29th in theaters. And dude, I think we need to find a way to go see this movie.
Yeah, I think this is gonna probably this is one you would want to gamble on and say is probably gonna be a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
overall.
I mean, the way that it kind of snuck up, I mean, it makes you kind of wonder, like, why hasn't this been a talking point for over a year with the people that are involved?
And Prime mentioned it right away, and I think I said it to you earlier. I said I feel like this has been something that's coming for a while.
Yeah,
like we knew about this a long time ago. And yes, half-ass beer. I also expected it the creature to start moving backwards as well too.
Actually, Prime said so. Blade 3 was his fault. It's hilarious, Prime, because Blade 3 was one of Goyer's first directing roles. Blade Trinity, David Goyer directed Blade Trinity. So, yes, he is at fault. They can't all be winners, but Blade, the original, was amazing. The Nolan Batman movies. I mean, obviously, David Goyer is a talented fucking writer. And you have him in a producing role with Guillermo del Toro with his vision. We know what he can do. You got Scott Cooper, who is a talented director who has done some great stuff. There's a lot of shit here pointing that this could be a sleeper hit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, guys, it's dropping the fucking Thursday before Halloween. People are going to be excited to see some scary shit, and this trailer is fucked up. Really, really excited to check this movie out. Again, everybody involved. This just screams this could be a hit, dude.
We just could what?
Could be a hit.
You said,
dude.
Screams.
Scream.
Piece of shit.
I want a new Fat Man. I want a new Fat Man as well.
God, yes, we need more of that.
We need more Fat Man.
Yeah, Prime. It's well documented that Snipes was kind of a diva piece of shit.
He
during
was a
that.
total dick on Blade Trinity.
He's changed after he's gotten out of prison, at the very least. So that's good. Want a new Blunt Man and
a lot of
Chronic?
people when they go
Well,
to prison.
Prime, Blunt Man and Chronic is actually a parody of Potheads. I don't know if we're gonna find that funny in this community. Continue.
No, Blunt Man and Chronic. Prime, what are you doing up? He must have napped all day.
Oh yeah, dude.
He took a nap at 1 and woke up at like 9. I was like, "Fuck." I'm up all night tonight.
He woke
dude.
up to get a snacky snack and realized, oh, the boy's on.
I want to make some mac and cheese.
Yeah, you're a little late for the giveaway. That's past a-hole.
Oh, did not mean to do that. All right, so.
Next time, can I have it?
I'm going to see, hopefully this next trailer doesn't have audio issues. I think I understand why it's happening, but hopefully it sounds good. But let's check out the next trailer. Now, you and I have a lot of love for this series. Early on especially.
Early on especially, yes.
But finally this week, we got a trailer for the next entry in the Scream movies. Let's check out the trailer. Hopefully the audio sounds good. I apologize if it doesn't, you guys.
That made Blanco.
This isn't funny, Amber.
Would you like to play a game, Tara?
Doors unlocked. All doors locked. Doors unlocked.
Hello?
It's happening. 3 attacks so far. Do you have a gun?
I'm Sydney Prescott. Of course I have a gun.
Something about this one just feels different.
Samantha? I know who you are. I've been through this a lot. This is your life now, which means that whoever this is gonna keep coming for you. You ready for this? Never.
No, stop, wait. There's certain rules to surviving.
The attacks were all on people related to the original killers. Whatever his link is to our past, it's pulled us all back here. And I won't sleep until he's in the ground.
Hello, Sydney. It's an honor.
What if it ends up being Marlon Wayans?
A crossover between Scream and Scary Movie.
Right.
Did not see that coming.
Right.
Look, I
That's right, Zach. I was gonna say the same thing.
love seeing the four. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Tone. We've talked about it before the show. We are big fans of Scream 1 and some of the earlier ones. In my opinion, the opening of Scream is one of the top 5 openings for a horror movie ever. Drew Barrymore absolutely crushed that entire fucking sequence, and it will always the one part of that scene that always haunted me the most is when her dad opens the door and runs outside, and he sees her out hanging from the tree.
Her guts out.
And the look that he had. I mean, just the music, the shot of the father, and what you see when it zooms in on her, you're just like, holy fucking shit. I remember sitting in that theater going, what the fuck, dude? I thought this was supposed to be fucking funny. Because, I mean, in the trailers, we knew it was going to be scary. But there was enough that we were like, oh, is this going to be some dark humor?
It was lighthearted shit.
But, man, that first 10 minutes of that movie is some of the best horror ever made. And kudos to the fucking late, great Wes Craven. I mean, that's just... that opening sequence was terrifying. Nothing about it was fun or entertaining. That was horror done at the highest level. That's Wes Craven at his absolute peak. Wes Craven's made some awesome horror movies. The first 10 minutes of Scream is Wes Craven's best work ever. It was horrifying. I mean, he's made some great horror movies. The first 10 minutes are his best work ever.
Cherry, do you agree with that? You want to?
Oh, jeez. Look, I just like I am cautiously optimistic for this movie, and for multiple reasons. Like, look, it's a reboot, and now the reason that I'm cautiously optimistic is one,
we talk about it frequently.
We've seen reboots that have completely been shit. We've seen reboots that fucking suck ass. But I look at the people involved, the directors, Matt Bentinelli and Tyler Gillett. They made Ready or Not. And honest to God, Ready or Not is one of the better horror movies, if not one of the best horror movies of the last 10 years. It's a horror movie with some very dark comedy lined throughout. Ready or Not is a really, really good movie. If none of you have seen Ready or Not, make it a point to check it out. It is a very good horror movie with some really good dark humor underlined throughout, much like Scream was when that first came out. So, directors, you're in good hands. Directors are Ready or Not. You're bringing back Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette. They're all very good actors.
I got a feeling it's going to be handing it off.
Yep. And here's the thing, dude. As I mentioned, always leery about these reboots. But over the last couple of years, whether it's, thank you, Zach Dynamite knows, Ready or Not is spectacular. It's an amazing movie. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out this Halloween. It's an incredible movie. It's really good. And there's some real fucking scumbags in it. But the reason I'm cautiously optimistic about this movie is because I'm really hoping that with what we've seen with Cobra Kai and with what we've seen with Candyman, I'm really hoping these creators have figured out a unique way to bring the story, the characters that were involved in the original story, and bring them forward to modern times, retaining all the elements that made the original so good, but still giving its modern-day spin. If you look at Candyman, which was fucking awesome, it's a fucking awesome movie. And the way they were able to still tie it in with the original was brilliant. And much like Cobra Kai, bringing all that shit forward, putting a good spin on it, respecting the source material, I'm really hoping that this movie is good because I love the first Scream. The second one was decent. The other ones were basically what they were making fun of, what happens when a trilogy runs too long. But if they can take what they learned from Cobra Kai and Candyman and some of these other shows and TV and movies that have tried the reboot process, this could be really good. I mean, what did you think of the trailer overall? I mean, did you like? I actually thought that opening, the opening trailer where they're kind of like doing the Drew Barrymore thing.
Good
Pretty
shades.
good.
So I'll be very honest. Like, when I first heard this, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give two shits. I'm not interested. And then I started seeing the cast. I'm like, okay. And then I saw the trailer. Okay. But that comes with that big price tag. You got to do it right.
Yep.
You're going to reboot shit. You got to do it right. You got to come swinging. You got to do it correct. You got, again, the Cobra Kai's, the Candymans. There's franchises out there that have, and I will always, at this point, I think, unless there's something else prior to it, Cobra Kai is the standard for how you modernize a franchise and reboot it and keep a lot of the elements and characters involved in some way. Like, I don't want these characters to come into Scream. I don't want it to be like what we see a lot of franchises do, which is, okay, we've got the characters coming back, and then they start piecing out Nevs and David Arquette and Courtney Cox.
Right.
It's like, you don't need to do that. Like, don't, because that, I know Rohit Raji would tell you this all day. Don't trash the originals by just like piecing them out. We brought them here.
Yeah, that's
like,
not the proper way to pass.
Right,
the
not
baton.
like how Star Wars did it in the sequel trilogy as well too. You bring them in, you keep them involved, keep them around for a movie too. Maybe a piece out one. I don't know, like, but keep them there. Like, have them be there for backup, but let people get killed. Okay, the story, while is now about these new characters, it's still originally about those characters. They were the ones involved. Don't piece them out, please.
Right.
And because that shit is frustrating. I do agree with that.
Yeah,
pulling a Ryan, right.
Yeah, as long as they find a way to use these characters who are seriously, they're an integral part of the franchise. I mean, you can't just sit there and kill them off just because, okay, this is how you pass the baton. We discovered that that's not how you have to handle things. You can use them to be a part of the plot, I don't mind them bringing in new characters to move the franchise forward. But you definitely don't have to kill off certain characters from the original series. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I don't understand that creative direction.
Now, do I
with that.
expect all three characters to come out alive? No, I'm sure there's going to be some crazy scene where one of them gets fucked up, and maybe it's because of the plot and it's necessary to move things forward.
Right.
But don't just kill them off just to kill them off. I feel like that's where you're kind of like, okay, this is stupid. You put them in a situation, and usually when they do that, they put them in a situation where they make a choice that isn't consistent with the choices they've made in previous entries.
Right.
You're like, that's not consistent with this character.
Exactly.
Like, this character would not make this mistake. This character would not make this decision in this situation. And that's where you're just like, okay, now you're forcing it. And that's fucking stupid. Nobody wants to see that.
No, nobody does. Like, I don't understand that creative thought process. Like, oh, hey, look, here's our shiny showpieces. Oh, the original character's coming back. Oh, sweet, you're dead in like 10 or 20 minutes, and that's that. Like,
dude, like, look, I don't expect Nev Campbell to come back for every fucking Scream sequel after this. But it doesn't mean you have to fucking kill her character.
Right.
If Nev Campbell's like, look, dude, I'm not going to come back for any more sequels, that doesn't mean the studio has to be like, all right, well, we're going to fuck your character up then. It doesn't have to work like that. You can just have Nev Campbell just moves on, and she leaves. Sidney Prescott leaves her town, and that's it. You don't have to kill him. Don't force the fucking kill.
Don't force.
But honestly, man, I'm excited for this. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited for it. I like a good horror movie. I love the first Scream. There's some really good vibes in this trailer. I think they do a lot of things right. I just hope they take from the Cobra Kai and the Candyman playbook and just unique ways to bring the story forward, modernize it, and make it, and be respectful to the source material.
We're gonna know January.
I didn't know that before the show. When we seen 2022, I was like, holy shit, 2022, when? And then it said January in the trailer. I was like, oh shit, we're like 4 months away. So
Crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, wild. I wouldn't expected that.
Sydney is to Scream, much like Jamie Lee Curtis is Halloween. Absolutely. But at the same time, I feel like what they've done, despite the last Halloween that came out, I didn't like how they handled the origin story of the Doctor. I thought that was really silly. But there was a lot of things I thought they did really good in it, especially Jamie Lee Curtis's character as Laurie Strode. I thought they did a really good job exploring the trauma that she went through and continuing from that to this one. I thought that was a good idea. But, man, when they got to the fucking doctor who replaced Loomis, I was like, and they got into what his fantasy was, and I was like, okay, this is fucking stupid. You've lost me. I mean, they did a lot of good things, though. They had Michael stalking like he did in the original. You know, when you respect the source material, that's cool. But when you start taking really big leaps, like the doctor thing, I was like, come on, dude, you almost had it. You almost had it. And you're right. This weekend, we will be watching the new Halloween Kills. And if you don't want to pay for it and go to the theater, it's available on Peacock. I signed up for it for 1 month. I'm going to cancel it after a month. But you can watch it at home. Halloween Kills this weekend. I think it's like $9.99 for the ad-free version, $4.99 if you want to tolerate ads. I don't want to see ads when I watch a movie. I'm going to watch Halloween Kills this weekend. We'll talk about it next week. My understanding is this is one of the most violent Halloween movies ever made.
Can't complain. $5 for a little cock.
Out of all the entire Halloween franchise, this is the most violent one by far. So a lot of people are going to die horrible deaths. But will they maintain the creepy element that makes Michael so alluring? We'll see. The Peacock app sucks. I believe it does.
It is not good.
I don't doubt you, but I'm not going to the theater to watch this movie. I'm going to sit at home downstairs in my basement in the dark, watch it by myself, scare myself silly,
Pay $5,
watch Michael do his thing, and I'm all
cock,
done.
Boom.
I'm good. I am good. All right, Tone. Let's move on to the next topic. We're going to stick with horror, baby. We're sticking with horror. We have a new series that dropped yesterday. Our boy is back.
Did.
He's behind you. This guy right here. Not this guy. This guy is okay, but this guy.
He's trying.
Chucky. The series is back. Or it just launched. Chucky's back. The series is new. It's available right now on Sci-Fi and USA Network.
Good luck finding it, King, if you don't have cable.
If you don't have cable, it's kind of a bitch to find. But it'll be airing on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And, dude, we sat down. We watched it last night. You watched it today. I am happy to report it delivered.
It was awesome.
The series premiere delivered. It washed that stench of Child's Play 2019 out of my mouth. Look, guys and gals, nobody handles Chucky better than Chucky creator Don Mancini. Okay? Nobody handles this character, the horror, the type of aesthetic that the Child's Play movies have been and what Chucky has done in the subsequent sequels like Don Mancini. 2019's Child's Play just didn't have that campiness or the good blend of humor and dread that we've come to expect. Chucky is not about jump scares. It's about being creepy as fuck, that demeanor, but he's also got that bigger than life personality.
It's got that dark comedy, man. Just
I attribute or I compare Chucky to Freddy Krueger, a psychotic killer, but he's got this charisma.
Oh yeah.
He's got this, like, he's kind of charming in a way. You know, you're just like, man, he's so fucking funny, and he's a killer, and he's a nut. And, I mean, look, like, the first Child's Play was a really dark flick. Like, that was horror. And Brad Dourif was awesome as Chucky. But then as the sequels have gone, 2 and 3, they try to take themselves too seriously. But it's after that where Don Mancini kind of realized, I need to focus on Chucky's personality.
What
and
number
build
was Bride?
What's that?
What number was Bride?
I think that might have been 4.
Okay.
I think that might have been 4.
Okay.
There's Bride of Chucky, Cult of Chucky. There's a bunch of Chucky movies. But after 3 is where Don Mancini was like, all right, dude, this is, we're kind of, let's focus on what makes Chucky so appealing. Mm-hmm. And again, that is the humor, the dark humor, his gory nature. He is a fucking psychopath. Charles Lee Ray is a psychopath. He kills people in gruesome ways, but there's just this camp. It's all about the camp. It's extremely campy. I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys have not seen the last Chucky movie, I believe it's called The Cult of Chucky. It's actually really good. It's really good. Brad Dourif's daughter is in it. and Alex Vincent, who played Andy in the original, is in it.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's actually really fucking good.
Not the 2019 one.
No, this is like the Don Mancini. This is like might have been like 2018, 2017, something like that. Whatever the last Chucky movie was, The Cult. No, maybe it wasn't The Cult then. It was the last, whatever the last one was actually really fucking good. It was because it was so over the top. It was funny. It was dark. And it was just, okay, I can get down with it. I see what Don Mancini, he just knows how to portray Chucky, and he knows how to tell a Chucky story. So, I mean, all in all, this episode was really good. I don't know if it was called Chucky. You know what, Tone? Talk about your thoughts on this. I'm going to look this up.
Yeah. Right away at the beginning, like they really just jump into it. The Chucky dolls, it's like seconds that you're already seeing the dolls sit there. And, what I did find interesting about this movie is that they really touch on some themes, some especially in a high school level, because clearly it's a kid involved again, things like that. It's modern, whatever. They deal with some bullying things and some of this, that, and the other, and it's meant to be serious and dark.
It's
a little
called
bit.
Chucky. I disagree with you, Cuddles. I thought called Chucky was funny.
It's almost kind of cringy because of some of the it's a little over the top. Like, is that really a real scenario? And I'm not saying it's not, but it was a little silly. But that's fine. I mean, you're not going into this expecting a whole lot. And really, realistically, like going into it, I'm like, how are they gonna do a Chucky series? 10 episodes? Well, I can tell you right now, this started out like it was an hour-long Chucky movie, and if we're getting 10 Chucky movies with Don involved,
you can't go wrong.
I can't wait. So, honestly, I was at the end of it. I was like, you know what? That's what it should be. That's what it needs to be. Campy, that dark humor, what you expect, what you want, everything you want from it. The acting's a little all over the place from some of the characters, but I think you kind of we'll explain a little bit deeper about that as well too. But so I get it, but at the same time, it's like I have a hard time not seeing that. It's one of those things, right? But man, like by the time you get to the end, and there's a part in it at like a school like play or whatever, that was brilliant. And when you get to the end, and finally like it's full on, instead of just doing like just sitting there and saying stuff a little bit and little facial expressions, you get the full on movement and everything walking around. Yeah. Then it was like, fuck, this is it right here. This was it. So it all come full circle at the end of the actual episode. And good stuff. They like I said, they touch on some undertones and some real serious things. I thought that's good and important. There are blips on the radar. It's going to help shape the character, so absolutely. It is important, and I get that. But I honestly I can't wait for the next one because let's get, if there's a list of people we're ready to hack and slash, let's go. Like I'm ready. So
as Tom mentioned, some of the performances in the show, it ranges from
it's the 90s
it's
king.
Campy
it's
to some of it's really just kind of cringy. But at the end of the day, when you look at some of the cringy acting, first of all, you're not watching a Child's Play movie for Oscar performances. Second of all, these people are fodder. These people are going to die horrible deaths for Chucky, and I'm cool with that because they're cringy, but also some of the characters are like, okay, I want this person to die. They're really annoying, they're really shallow, and they're a fucking scumbag. But, at the end of the day, man, the one thing that I was most excited about after this episode was just the fact that we are back to Brad Dourif as Chucky. Look, I was one of the few people that was really hyped for 2019's Child's Play. I was really excited. And then when they announced Mark Hamill was doing Chucky, I was like, oh, shit. Here we go. This is I was bummed. I was like, it's not Brad Dourif, but I knew there was a falling out with Universal and Don Mancini with the Chucky IP and whatnot, and the Child's Play, and I get that. But I was like, okay, cool. Mark Hamill, that's a good replacement. And after we watched Child's Play 2017, I was like, this movie's not good. It's not good. And Mark Hamill, I love Mark Hamill. I love you, Mark Hamill. But in this instance, he's no Brad Dourif. Simple as that. Brad Dourif will always be Chucky. Hamill, he was okay. He was all right. But at the end of the day, I was telling Tom before the show, every time I hear Mark Hamill, I hear a lot of his same characters.
It's hard not to.
When he was playing Chucky, I was like, okay, yeah, he's Chucky. And then at the same time, I was like, man, it sounds like a really chill Joker. There's a really chill Joker. But when Brad Dourif does it, there's just something about the accent and the delivery. Brad Dourif knows how to voice Chucky better than anybody.
Correct.
Mark Hamill, God bless his soul, couldn't save 2019 Child's Play. But watching this episode and hearing the great Brad Dourif once again embodying Chucky, it was amazing. It was amazing. He was really, really good. Like, especially there's a couple of scenes, the one at the school play or the talent show,
so good,
where Chucky does the ventriloquist act with Jake, and Chucky just lays into the crowd. You're just like, okay, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. This is what I want from Child's Play. Chucky's out here just belittling these people, and they think it's fucking hilarious. And it's just it's like story-wise, I don't know how this is gonna go for 10 episodes. Much like Cobra Kai, it tries to like lean into that high school, middle school drama. Like, you see the characters, you're like, okay, that person sucks, and this person's a bully. And they do a great job of at looking at some of those themes like bullying and the things that people have to endure nowadays and the different types of shade that people throw. And I think that's a good move. I think that's really good because it helps build characters. And Jake needs to be built up as a character because obviously Chucky is the main star, but there's that relationship between Chucky and always the kid that he gets paired with, much like it was with Andy. It's an important part of the show. It's an important part because Chucky, in a way, empowers these kids. It's kind of like that safety blanket in a weird way where they're always getting bullied and they're always getting pushed around by people, and Chucky's always kind of like, I'll take care of it. Chucky's always that, go sit back, relax. I know you don't dig this person. I'll take care of it. So whether or not they're able to explore a lot of that, and if they can handle the high school and middle school drama like they do in Cobra Kai, where it's compelling stuff, even if it's kind of soap opera-ish, as long as it's compelling and interesting, I think it'll work.
It might translate harder because it's going to be campy, so it might feel extra like, oh shit, you might be some more eye-roll. Because I did that some in this. I'm like, oh, okay. And I get it. Like, it's purposefully trying to be self-aware that it's campy, which is fine. And I think that's part of what makes this entertaining, too.
Now, the one thing that I'm really interested about, like, look, I know people are going to die in this movie or in this show. That's one of the most appealing things. Chucky killing people in elaborate ways. I'm on board with that. But, 10 episodes, I want some decent story. And the one thing that we got a glimpse of at the end of the episode that I think is really interesting is we're going to get a Charles Lee Ray backstory. We're going to get kind of an origin story for the character that Brad Dourif played in the first Child's Play before he possesses Chucky's body, the good guy doll. He's Charles Lee Ray, a serial killer. And at the end of the episode, they give this cool homage to Halloween, where Charles Lee Ray is wearing a mask and he's kind of stalking around the house, and he moves up on his sister who is like getting done up or whatever, much like Michael Myers' sister in the original Halloween. Very cool homage. And we realized, that's Charles Lee Ray. So we're obviously going to get some kind of backstory to Charles Lee Ray, which I think is really cool because we've never explored it. Charles Lee Ray has always been just kind of like a one-note character. He possesses Chucky, and that's the one. But here's the thing that I really hope they kind of explore, because it's something that I've always found interesting about Chucky, especially with the first Child's Play, second and third even. Chucky has always been kind of like this protector of kids. Yes, he haunted Andy, but at the same time, he was always protecting Andy. And in this one, we see what happens to Jake's dad when he beats the shit out of Jake. Chucky's like, no, man, that ain't cool. So, I mean, I want to see, maybe from this origin story, we'll see what happened to Charles Lee Ray when he was younger.
Why is he a serial killer?
Yeah. What pushed him? And maybe we'll find out why he's kind of protective of kids. Because, I mean, honestly, in a way, if you watch these movies, he's very kind of protective. Even the 2019 Child's Play. Chucky is always protective of kids. Until the kid's like, you're a fucking nut. I'm going to kill you. And then Chucky's like, all right, now I got to kill you.
Yeah, no, don't fuck me.
Now I got hey, Andy, I'm your friend to the end.
I think at the end of the day here with this, and why that is hopefully and probably going to happen, is that, again, it's like we've said numerous times before, that when you have more time, series or not, you can flesh things out more. you can't get into those kind of discussions as well and flesh them out maybe in the movies because you're restrained to
hour and a half minutes,
or whatever it looks like. So now you have the ability to kind of set that up and do that, and I really hope they do that as well too. I'm excited, and it's unfortunately that we don't have John Ritter here, that he can't. Oh, that's problem. No, that's Problem Child. Never mind.
No, he was in.
Was he in the original Child's
He was
Play?
he was in. I think he was in. Not Bride of Chucky.
He was in one of them.
He's
right?
in one of them. He gets killed. He's like a cop or something. But yeah, John Ritter's in it, and he gets pieced out in a pretty cool way. It's kind of funny. But yeah, John Ritter's in one of the Child's Play movies.
Okay.
Yeah, which is funny because he gets he's in. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is Seed of Chucky. Is it Bride of Chucky? It's one of those two. Yeah, he's in a Chucky.
And
movie.
somehow we're getting Jennifer Tilly. We know she's attached to this.
Dude, what's awesome about it is actually we have Christina Elise, who was Kyle, the sister, like Andy's. What is it? His adopted, or like his. He's adopted, so she's his sister. Alex Vincent, who played Andy in the first one, is in this, and Jennifer Tilly, who showed up in The Bride of Chucky and throughout the rest, she's in it as well. So we're going to see a lot of the original characters throughout the movies that are going to be reprising their roles in really interesting ways. So, I mean, this has the potential to be a real cool take and a real cool Child's Play story. I'm excited for it, man. Like, I love Chucky. Like you said, once he gets fully animated with the CGI, he's a creepy fucking doll. He's a creepy-ass fucking doll. On Monday, Chucky was on WWE. He was a part of the promotion. He showed up. Chucky was there.
Yeah, USA Network.
Bride of Chucky. Thank you, Cuddles. Yeah, he was in Bride of Chucky. But I'm hyped about this, you guys. If you guys get a chance, watch it on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern time. It's on Sci-Fi USA. We'll be talking about it every week. I think there's some potential here. I think this could be a really good show.
And hey, you know what? Cuddles brought it up. Maybe the theater master Tricky will put it in the Discord at some point on a Wednesday or something like that. When he's working.
Yeah, when he's working. And all of a sudden I got to work double time.
Yes.
Wonder why that is.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
Let's move on to the final topic, one that we're really excited to talk about. We binged this over the weekend. Let's talk about the phenomenon that is Squid Game, available now on Netflix. And Tone, we powered through this, much like the rest of the world, apparently. We'll talk about some numbers here in a minute that are really fucking impressive. But this is from director Hwang Dong-hyuk, who actually put this show together over a decade ago. And when he brought it to producers and showrunners, they all said, nope, no way, bro. Not happening.
Crazy.
So this fucking idea sat on a shelf for 10 years before Netflix said, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And oh my, did it pay dividends. I mean, dude, started slow for me, and then I was like, what the fuck? Cuddles? It's honestly, in a weird way, and I'll compare this a little bit later, this reminded me a little bit of Game of Thrones in the way it was set up. You have twists, you have turns, you have backstabbing, you have compelling storytelling, and you have horrible fucking violence.
Technically, King, Fall Guys is a parody of this.
Yeah, in theory. Maybe Fall Guys people heard about Squid Games and like, hey, let's make a game based on this show that's never going to take off.
Bake you a little noodle.
And then once Netflix saw the Fall Guys take off, they're like, fuck, man, let's make this movie.
Let's do it. Greenlight it.
Let's do it. But basically the premise of this is hundreds of cash-strapped players accept a strange invite to compete for 45 million won by playing a series of children games with a very sadistic twist.
456.
456 players, to be exact.
I have not panicked, but I've heard.
My thoughts are this is an original concept that could have easily just been gore porn. It could have, I mean, honestly, based on the trailer, I was like, this is probably going to be gore porn.
Shallow.
Shallow, not a whole lot to it. But instead, the violence is there, but it complements it with a deep story that focuses on the struggles that folks endure with debt,
character development,
and the lengths that they're willing to go to find that financial relief and that security. And man, they really hit on some heady themes. And they, man, I tell you right now, dude, this is one of those shows where like Huddle says, it's kind of a slow burn at first, but man, this fucking show really hits you deep.
Yeah.
It pulls you in with some incredible, compelling story arcs involving these characters. And it's helped by a lot of impressive performances. Some of them are a little annoying. Some of them are kind of annoying. But for the most part, they're impressive performances all around. The strong writing complements that and makes compelling stories. Especially later in the series, there are some major characters, much like Game of Thrones, that meet their demise. Episode 6 is incredibly emotional. This show it fucking hits, dude. It hits you deep. It's a thought-provoking show. This could have been so fucking shallow, but it's not. It's thought-provoking as fuck. It's shocking, and it'll actually tug at those strings, dude. Tone, your initial thoughts of Squid Game, man.
Definitely at first I was thinking, okay, like I didn't know what we were getting into. I was looking definitely at face value just from the trailers and what it looked like. I thought more of just kind of like he said, a gore porn. Thought it was gonna be just straightforward and we were gonna go somewhere and I was gonna be okay with that. I was probably gonna be okay with that. But like everybody's mentioned, it's a slow burn at first. Like you're trying to get going, but then when they get out to that when you get to that first game,
red
you're
light,
like,
green light,
and then you're like, what? Like,
right.
Okay, so we're going that route. And I was like, oh, okay, so we are going that route. Okay, let's see where this goes. And then the story continues, and then you start getting like these character interactions.
Yep.
You see these characters,
the backstories.
Yeah,
like,
even the
what's
bad ones.
driving
You start seeing like characters like gravitating towards each other, and then that's how you're building these relationships and learning about them. You're finding people that knew each other, and you're seeing families and how their life's affected by their debt, how it translates into real life that. People, I think you may not yet talked about it, but how these people would rather do these things that puts their life on the line instead of dealing with creditors. And it translates so much into real life how, everybody's pretty much gone past their proper income or their spending and things
outside
like
their
that.
means.
Yeah. And what they're willing to do to change that or whatever that looks like. And gosh, I got to tell you, like, I had some people that referenced this, said it was like kind of like a real life anime, and there's degrees of that. I still get into that.
I can see that.
But I guess I just did not expect how emotionally attached you get to characters.
Mm-hmm.
How like very honestly, I got super hooked into it. I started maybe one episode on Friday. I was done by Sunday on this series.
Woo! Man,
like I was just like. And that's why again I
it's
didn't play
gripping,
I didn't play much Metroid this weekend because I couldn't stop watching this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Plus I was really drunk on Saturday, but still I couldn't stop watching this show. Like it was phenomenal. And man, I feel like it's one of those things where I want to rewatch, and I have a hard time rewatching things sometimes.
I'm rewatching this.
And like, well, here's my thing. Like this is those rare like crossroads for me. Like, I feel like if I watch it, I'm definitely going to gain more things of it. But I feel like if I watch it again, I'm going to lose that magic of it.
Right. Yeah,
because we're going to talk about it in a second.
Yes,
we're going to talk about it a second. And I don't want that to happen because I felt like this is like a rarity. This is just kind of a phenom. But more and more people. And now, it started with like people even at work or friends saying, "You watch Squid Game yet? You watch Squid Game yet?" I'm like, fuck are you telling me to watch something? I never I'm usually telling you to watch something, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking finally watch it. So finally made ourselves watch it, and then we're like, boom, here we are. And this is, I got to tell you, if you've not seen it, if you debated it, you got to watch it. And if you have seen it, tell everybody else to watch it because this is so many layered things going on in this movie. And we do talk about movies in here that have a lot of complexities, that have a lot of layers, that translate to life or social things or whatever it might be, whatever different type of things that we're dealing from day to day. This is just it's not what you would expect either, because you would expect sometimes with Eastern storytelling, and this is Korean, not necessarily Japanese, but like sometimes it's hard to what's the word I'm looking for? Relate to, maybe.
Sure.
Because sometimes the story is a little crazy. This is complete. This entire movie is completely relatable.
Right.
Is it wild and things are going on? People might die, sure. But is it relatable? Absolutely, in a lot of different ways. And there's not a lot of things that really do that. Like, you'll watch movies and there might be a character or two that you learn how they're driven and you find relation to and you get kind of hooked in it. This is a very rare case where a lot of things in this and a lot of people, and when you even just look at all the people that even have maybe a small screen time, there's something that's driving that character, and even though they might not be around very long, you don't see them, you feel like, even just by some of the things they say, I can think of one in particular, you're like, I relate to that character. And then something changes, you're like, holy shit, and you actually care. And not a lot of things do that. So at the end of the day, I digress. It's amazing is one great word for it, and it's buy into the hype. Everybody's watching it for a reason. Buy into the hype.
Yeah. No, I see people talking about the dubs. Like, when I first fired it up, I heard the English dubs right away, and I was like, oh, okay, no, I can't. So I switched over to the Korean voice and just turned on the subtitles, and it was a much better experience. The subtitles didn't bother me at all. But
it includes, okay.
The thing about this show, man, is, like, obviously the big point of it are the games that the people are playing, and these things are expertly crafted and shot, and they create some of the most intense moments on television I've ever seen. Every time the speaker went on and said, "Okay, we'll be playing a game the next game in a few moments," dude, I was on the edge of my seat
the entire time.
And as the games progressed, it was just an exhausting, tension-filled experience where you are literally feeling the stress that these characters are going through just so they can get through this. And then you take that experience and you take that feeling and you compare it to, like, why they're doing it, the struggles. I mean, they would rather be in this situation than in real life, out in the real world, dealing with creditors and trying to figure out a way to take care of their debts. And you're just like, holy fucking shit, dude.
And like the intensity on these things going on, and there'd be some downtime, story development early on, especially, and then as it gets on later, there's less and less of that because you're already getting through there. You're starting to see everything like that, and we just kept looking at each other when we're watching this, me and the wife, and we're like, both of us kept saying the word. One word kept coming. This is wild. Wild. Yeah. This is wild. Like, it was just I don't know. And
would you play the games? I mean, look, I'll be the first to admit I don't mind putting my business out there. I've made my mistakes in the past, and I know how hard it is to deal with those mistakes. Would I play these games? Would I play fucking Tug of War at 100 feet from the ground? No.
Which, by the way, the
whole Tug of War, like I said, the games themselves they play are horrifying. Tug of War, I am not a fan of heights. Tug of War was horrifying, and then Marbles later on was heartbreaking. I mean, it's just these games are so brutal, and they're so wrenching at the soul. You're just like, jeez. I mean, every time they play a game, you basically get the same feeling that you got from watching the Red Wedding and Game of Thrones. You're like, there's people just they're dying in horrible ways, and you're just like, fuck. Even main characters you're not even attached to. You just realize these people are dying because this is a better option for them. Desperation, and this show is desperate. It's depressing as fuck in a lot of ways. I remember the first couple episodes, I was like, this is really fucking depressing, dude. It's really depressing. But it is so, at the same time, it's just, there's horror elements, but it's also a character study where it looks at the human, like, just the nature of human people and how they handle certain situations. If there was one critique I had to say, it was the big reveal in the final episode. There's a big reveal at the end. I feel like it could have been more impactful had they not made the same fucking mistake that they make in all these movies. Ladies and gentlemen, if somebody gets killed off screen, it's a dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway.
It's a dead giveaway. And that was the biggest. Damn it. I could come out of this whole show. If somebody gets killed off screen, you fucking know they're not dead.
Dead giveaway.
And that was the dead giveaway. There was another hint to it shortly after that. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, I know who that is. But that was the only issue I had with the show. And the reasoning behind why these games exist was kind of like, oh, okay. I feel like they've been clever the whole time. You know, they've been really smart with us.
But I felt like that was part of the smart. They were trying to purposely be like...
I get it. Yeah. I mean, I get why they went that route. I guess it makes sense. But I feel like it's the easy way out. I feel like that's the easy way out. Mm-hmm. For a show that's done really, really good...
Okay, Panic. Nice.
Up to that point, I was like, okay, this feels like it's kind of a cop-out. Kind of like an easy way. So it was just like, okay, whatever, that's fine. But I think the thing that you and I want to talk about for a moment is the way the show ends. Clearly, it leaves things open for another season. Okay? It leaves things open. We won't get into the details of it. But I don't know, dude.
Right.
I don't know. Like, look, I don't work at Netflix. I'm not an executive. I don't look at the numbers, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Certainly not.
But I don't know if this is a show that needs a sequel, that needs a second season. I really don't.
It might tarnish it.
I don't know how you're going to match this, but it's left wide open for another season. And now currently the showrunner, the creator of the show, has not confirmed a second season, but he has already said that the pressure on him right now is insanely high.
Oh, wow. And why is that?
And Tone, let's talk about that for a moment.
And why is that? So, and definitely, I definitely agree with that, Cuddles. I feel like, I don't know if we need another one. Let it be great and be done, right? Because we all know what happens with sequels. You get Highlander 2.
Don't get him started on Highlander 2.
Because I'll talk about it.
Remake with poor people running the game and rich. Look, man, I it was funny. I was telling Tone, this reminded me a little bit of The Running Man.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Back in the day. People just, getting killed playing a game. I was like, man, this is like the beginning of the Running Man series.
Play a game.
But let's talk about why there's going to be a sequel. These numbers came out today, and this is fucking bonkers. Here are the top 10 viewed shows on Netflix up to this point. Number 10, Season 1 of Sweet Tooth. 60 million accounts Netflix accounts have watched Season 1 of Sweet Tooth. Number 9, The Queen's Gambit, which is critically acclaimed. This thing is a juggernaut of a show. 62 million. The Tiger King, Season 1. Everyone knows about the Tiger King.
Everybody knows about
hype.
That bitch Carol Baskins.
Number 8, 64 million. The Money Heist. I don't even know what that is. Part 4, 65 million.
Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson.
That's Money Train, you dummy.
Keep going.
Stranger Things. Season 3. 67 million. 67 million.
67.
Number 5, Sex Life. Season 1. 67 million.
Based on my life.
The Witcher. Season 1. 76 million.
That's pretty awesome. That's in the top 5.
Lupin Part 1. Don't even know what that is. 76 million.
Anime?
Bridgerton. Season 1. 82 million.
Clint Eastwood.
At number 1.
Number 1.
Squid Game. In its first fucking month. 111 million accounts have watched this series. There's going to be a second season. Netflix is going to go up to the creator's door with a blank check.
Start writing zeros.
And be like, dude,
1 and
how
0,
much?
0, 0, 0.
Now you understand why that creator feels all that pressure. This is the most watched show ever in the history of Netflix. And it's not even close. Right. How do you follow this up, dude?
I agree with Cuddles.
I'm with Cuddles as well.
I feel like they would ruin another season. Like, yeah, it's open-ended at the end, but like, and listen, like, there's another character we didn't see a full-on death of.
Right.
So
clearly there'll be a big part because he has we understand what his motive is.
And other guy is also still around. So there's some characters that are still some players, and for some reason, like the guy that you start out with, the biggest loser, becomes like this red-haired knight in shining armor. Really random as fuck. You know, and turnaround character, and you see, and that's a character where you just see this continued growth. But it's man, he's got so much. There's so much. Again, I'm telling you right now, there's so much like emotional things that go up and down with him in his life and everything, and the things he fights and how he grows and how it's.
But I mean, honestly, I mean, for as a whole this season, it was compelling stuff. Like, it was really fucking good.
Believe the hype.
Great performances. For the most part, everyone is really, really good. There are some characters that are super fucking annoying, but it is just it's shocking, it's heart-wrenching, it's compelling, and it's amazing. Like, it's one of those shows where you watch it after you hear all the hype, and then you're like, holy shit, man. It lived up to it.
Mm-hmm.
It literally lived up to it.
There's a reason why it's number one right now.
The ending, I feel like, could have been a little bit better. The reasoning for why things are happening, I would have liked a different approach, even though it makes sense. It fits the story itself. I feel like, though, it was kind of like the easy way out to close it out. But the setup for a sequel or for a second season is there. I just don't know if it's necessary, dude. And I don't know how they're even going to come close to it. But 111 million accounts say, fuck you, dude. Give me more. The host is really good, El Blanco. I've seen the host. That's actually a really good fucking.
You think the gore added or subtracted? You always need the gore. I think that cerebralness of the gore with everything that's else is going on.
I think it complements.
Makes it so shocking, and that's why you're like clutching your pearls and shit like that.
It's shocking, but it also complements the stories behind these characters, what they're going through, and this is a better option.
Right, because literally
dealing with life.
One character could be fine and dandy cotton candy and this close to moving on, and all of a sudden gone like that in front of you, and you see it.
I heard mixed reviews about gore. It's not over the top, but there's enough. It's shocking. You're just like, it's shocking because of the way the games are played. Like, this isn't Saw. This isn't Saw gore.
Right.
I think the last game, when there's some scenes on the ground where you're like,
right,
oh,
but you're right though. It's not like gratuitous Saw gore where
you're
it's
not
purposely
seeing a lot of the fucking bodily damage done.
Gore is a driver in Saw. That's kind of partly the point. This is definitely, I just think, like it's an additive showpiece to kind of try and you know, what's he saying?
He said, like the original Speed, we didn't need a second. We sure as fuck didn't, and that movie was atrocious.
Yeah, and Highlander 2 didn't need to have.
The harvesting body parts was weird too, man. But again,
to me that made sense. There was a racketeering going on with that.
Yeah.
I thought that was but you know, that was an added element though, by the way, that we haven't come full circle on. You know, and do we need that?
Right.
Because who in there is in that hierarchy has decided to get down a little bit. You know what I mean? But my guess is that some of the top players involved are probably involved in that as well a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because I think that's partly adding the money to the pot. That might be where some of that money comes from. I don't know. But anyways, bottom line is you got to see it.
White Wolf. Now, I haven't seen Squid Games, but my understanding of whether or not it needs needs season 2 is how many Saw movies do we have versus how many do we need. I wouldn't compare Saw to Squid Games because, like, look, Saw is gore porn. There's other than the first Saw, nothing in the sequels in terms of story, compelling storytelling compares to anything that's in Squid. Like, nothing in the Saw follow-ups. I would even say the first Saw, while it had a good twist and it was kind of a whack,
it was new to everybody.
It was out there story. It doesn't compare to Squid Games. Squid Games, the gore and that you see in Squid Games, again, it's threaded through much like the horror in Midnight Mass. It shows up, and when it does, you're like, holy shit! But it's not the central point of the show. It's just there to complement and kind of and catch you off guard. Whereas in this show, it's more about the compelling nature of the characters and the things that they're going through, the relationships that are formed, and how they ultimately just it's a heart-wrenching fucking show, you guys. It's heart-wrenching. But I thought it was amazing. Can they do a sequel? They're going to do a sequel. Netflix is going to make sure There's a fucking sequel.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna happen. Will it match this? I mean, I hope so. I really hope so, but I don't know how, dude. I don't know how because we've never seen anything like this.
As someone who has stock in Netflix, I can tell you what stock has also recently been a little bit
Ticking upwards.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But Tone, that is it for this week's show. Which is better, this show or the platform? The show. The show for sure. I like the platform. I really like the platform. But this show's way better. This show's way better.
Absolutely.
So, what do you got? What are you playing? Oh.
It's playing with half-ass beers.
Do you have consent? That's rude.
I own it.
That's nasty.
Don't forget, if you're in the area, Friday night, 6 p.m., I want to say 9. 6 p.m., Oracle Brewing. We'll probably be there around 6:30. I do work till 5:30, but regardless, by 7, if you want to hit up, we're going to be down there. We're going to have a small group. Come out, support local business, support local brew house, drink some beers, hang out with us, get to know us if you haven't yet. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I probably will have a mask on me for part of the time at the very least for sure. So, definitely might recommend it if we're in a small area. But hopefully we can get some content in there a little bit. Love to have King Cuddles potentially maybe chatting with us, maybe some streaming as well too. Come, have some food. There's some good places in that right connected.
Baby.
What's that?
Songs.
Yeah, there's let's hang out a little bit, and then also again, Saturday night 7:30 here in Saginaw, the Carlton area. You can hang out with Rohit Raju, Johnny Bravo, Rosemary of Impact, but of course we focus on that Rohit Raju. Come hang out with us this weekend. Dratson's in town. Half-ass Beer's gonna be hanging out.
It's gonna be rowdy.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
It's gonna be a really good time. So. That's going to do it for this week's show. This weekend, we'll be watching Halloween Kills.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Chucky next Tuesday night. Whatever other fucking movies.
Isn't there something else coming out?
We're going to try to get in a stream on Sunday night of Back for Blood.
Yeah, we're going to try and
we're going to try to jump into that.
something
Cuddles,
like that.
I think he started it because he started playing it at like 5 p.m. the other day before bedtime at 7. I don't know. Check out that. Hopefully we'll have Metroid done completed so we can talk about our review in that, but we won't spend a whole segment on that. But it's really difficult to figure out which movies are coming out on digital. I mean, on Fridays sometimes they drop on iTunes. You know what? Visions. Maybe we should watch Star Wars Visions.
You need to finish Visions so we can talk about that.
Blanco,
It'll take you
we will talk
an
about
hour,
we'll talk
maybe.
about Visions next week. We'll talk about Star Wars Visions. No, we definitely will. I needed something else to watch because I don't have any other shows. I don't have Squid Game. So
and like most of the episodes are like 10, 12, 15 minutes.
yeah, I'm gonna bust through that. So I will definitely shut up. What a prick. All right, that's gonna do it for this week's show. I'm the Dude79 for Mr. Fanboytone. Thank you so much for hanging out. Next Wednesday night, we'll be live right here, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have lots to talk about. Have a safe weekend, everybody. We'll see you soon.